What is up? What is up, everybody? It's the official start to our Power 4 conference previews. We're starting with the Big 12 today. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. We're pretty much full tilt here, 2 shows a week until the end of the season. Me and Dalton cannot wait. We'll have plenty of guests throughout the year and just absolutely ecstatic to kind of kick it off. This feels like the official kickoff now, Dalton. Want to get your thoughts on that. But first off, how you doing? And just really, what are you looking forward to in our first Power 4 preview with the Big 12?
Man, this conference, so many transfers. It's insane. 400, over 400.
Yeah.
400 out of about 16. I mean, if you're good at math, you could do that real quick. It's like 20 per team on average. It's insane. Little over 20. Just, man, not much continuity, right? Except at the top. At the top, there's a lot.
Yep, exactly.
But, man, the bottom of this conference, a lot of new coaches and completely new rosters. Don't really know what we're going to get. I'm expecting a huge step from Oklahoma State. I think both of us are. Most of the media is, I think.
Everybody.
And then who knows what Texas Tech's going to be like without Sorsby. It's an interesting conference. It's just interesting, man. It's fun. It's a fun conference. It's always fun.
Very interesting. Obviously, the two heads of the college football everyone can agree on. It's Big 10, SEC. And then everyone, I don't know why everyone treats Big 12 and the ACC like the redheaded stepchild, but I'll say this right now.
They are.
I've been an advocate for the ACC in the past just because it's very exciting, but I think there's going to be just as many fireworks, if not more, in the Big 12 this year. We got legit contenders, and we can talk about those contenders. I mean, for those teams that are bringing a lot of guys back, and I don't think that is a coincidence. You already brought that up, which is a good point. So, yeah, I really just cannot wait. I think the Big 12 is going to be absolutely crazy this year. I think we're going to see some pretty good quarterback play, if not borderline great quarterback play. Everyone's looking at Oklahoma State. I don't think you could find anyone in the media that's low on Oklahoma State this year going in. Everyone's kind of penciling in Mestemaker as a first-round pick this year. Not only a first-round pick, pretty much like a top 10 pick right now.
Heisman contender, all that.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, he's pretty much just anything you can name accolade. Drew Mestemaker's probably been rumored to, or favored, in that his whole offseason. So, I mean, you could say rightfully so. You could say it's a little bit too early. We'll get into that, and that'll be a fun conversation. So, a lot of guys, like you said, transfers over 450, I think.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, and, I mean, a bunch of guys. This is obviously our first P4, so this is the first slate and first, I'd say, class of transfers. This many guys having significant production at their last school.
Definitely.
So, yeah, obviously won't be able to name all 450 of those. We won't have you here for forever just to say we did it. So
Oklahoma State got like 70, I think.
Yeah, it's like 50 something.
50, yeah. That's half the roster, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. So, yeah, Oklahoma State obviously turning over your roster. We're going to see that more and more. Maybe we'll see it less and less.
Iowa State, too. Iowa State lost everybody.
Yeah, Iowa State, too.
Campbell took everybody with them. That was worth that shit. So
that he did. Yeah, and we were talking about before we even got on about Penn State this year, how it's going to be crazy. So, man, I'm really ecstatic here. Shout out to everyone that's been following all of our conference previews. You've been keeping up with us here on X or on YouTube or on homesquadsports.com. We really appreciate it because we'll have all the updates and all the episodes. If you just want to, see our picks for the week or see the episode whole preview for week 6, week 4, any week, we're going to have you covered there on homesquadsports.com. Me and Dalton, we're going to have a ticker there. You'll be able to see who's got the better record there in calling games this year. We're going to actually keep a tote of that. We're going to keep a tally, as they say. So I can't wait for that, and we'll see if Dalton can get the most picks every week. We haven't decided how. Obviously, we do pick 6. We do top 6 games every single week, but we might start just picking like 20 games a week a piece just to really get the numbers in there.
Might as well.
Yeah, see if someone can create a lead or see if we can run away with it. As in somebody, I mean me, because.
Come on.
I mean, because we got to – and I will say these picks don't count for the picks that we're doing for preseason. Obviously, we know those don't count against ours because I really think a lot of these teams are going to have some similar records. But do you consider the Big 12 as a conference that it beats up on each other and it kind of – it's top-heavy? Or what is your overall take of the conference this year and just overall?
I think it's pretty deep, honestly. I think even the bad teams aren't terrible.
Yeah.
But there's no dominant team either. So It's just a lot of good, pretty good teams. I don't think there's no great teams in this conference. But I don't think there's any horrible teams.
Yeah.
There's no Purdue's in here, I don't think.
Right.
Right. Who else is really bad? I mean, Mississippi State in the past couple of years. I don't think there's any of those teams in there. But it's just, really deep. Any team can. I think, I wouldn't be completely shocked if Colorado or Kansas went and beat Utah. I'd be a
Right.
little surprised, but it wouldn't be like,
I know.
oh my god.
I think Utah's definitely going to be on upset watch, but they're top of the conference. I think towards the top because
Top 3 or 4.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think because they bring back so much talent, they're going to be battle tested. And they know their identity, and they're not going to. Utah's not going to have to take the first 3 or 4 weeks to see what they got this year. They already know.
New coach though.
I know, but I think when you have a quarterback in Devin Tampere who's there and just locked and
Beast.
loaded,
Yeah.
I think it makes a first-year coach, always easy. So we'll talk about some potential coaching changes as well. We might see that mid-season with a couple of these teams, but let's go ahead and get into it, Dalton. Let's start from bottom to the top, and we're going to start. Unfortunately, now we're not picking them at the very bottom, just among the bottom because we don't know how these standings are going to go because we have multiple teams with this record. But
Yeah.
let's talk about the Colorado Buffs. We have them going 3-9 this year, Dalton. I think it's going to be a rough year for Dion and Coach Prime. I think it's Brendan Marion coming in with the go-go offense. Juju running that thing with Salter gone, Pat Shermer gone, Jordan Seaton gone, and then they're kind of banged up to start the year. Rumor has it, with Danny Scudero coming in
And Cam Perry. Yeah.
Cam Perry. So that's not a good look, but I will say I do like some of their transfers because they got guys from lower levels. Before we get into the returners, you can kind of just give me your thoughts on the Buffs this year, and what do you expect with the new go-go era in Boulder?
I'm not too high on him, honestly. I mean, you could tell by our record prediction. Julian Lewis looked good in limited time last year,
Brendan
right?
Marion says their offensive line is better than what he had at Texas in like 2023 or 2022.
I don't think he's.
22.
I just think he's lying. I don't. He can say that.
Yeah,
I don't believe it until I see it.
got to see it.
He lost Jordan Seaton, and they're back better. All right, come on.
It's hard to fathom.
Not realistic, but if they showed on the field, all right, I'll give them some flowers. But man, they lost so much. They don't have. When we get to the returners, we'll talk about it, man. These guys, even the returners that I listed, none of them had crazy production. They haven't really recovered since losing Hunter and Shadur, man.
I know.
Which a lot of programs wouldn't, but they really haven't found a replacement.
Yeah, and I even seen on some other podcasts there, and even on 6-0's pod, where Matt McChesney talking about if Colorado didn't have Shadur and Travis, and obviously Coach Prime, I don't know if they would have got an invite to the Big 12. What do you think?
I thought they were already in the Big 12. Oh,
Or not?
no, that was their first year, wasn't
They
it?
were not. So the first year,
First year was
Pac-12.
Yeah.
So Shadur and them played in the Pac-12 the first year, and then if they don't have those names, those household names, I think they stay in the Pac-12. They go in the Mountain West.
Really?
I think so.
I don't know if they would have been a group of 6 team. That's so hard to take that step down. You don't really see it from any team. I don't remember any team going from. Has any team ever gone from power 4 to 9?
Right.
In our lifetime, I'm just saying.
Probably not.
Yeah. So, they still.
If you want to
they're
count,
solid basketball program. Idaho went down to FCS.
Yeah.
But they were never power
You're right.
4.
You're right. It's a good point.
So it's just it's hard to happen. They still have basketball. Their basketball. They're not great. They make tournament.
But didn't they already do that with the Pac-12?
Oregon State, Washington State. I guess them two. The only 2.
Well, no. I'm saying when Colorado went from Big 12 to the Pac-12, did they not? That
was a power conference back then. Oregon, USC, that's a power conference.
No, but they were still in the Pac-12 after they left, right? Or no, you're
No,
right.
that
You're
was
right.
gone.
You're right.
Yeah.
They all left at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I thought after USC,
Washington State, Oregon State.
I thought after those 3 left, UCLA, USC, and Oregon, I thought Colorado stayed back for a couple years.
No, it was gone.
Pac-12.
Yeah, it was gone.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, maybe not, but we do got them.
But Washington State, Oregon State. No, you're right. I guess they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
They went down.
Yeah.
So that sucks for them 2 schools. Well, that ain't fair. Life ain't fair.
Life ain't
fair to the Buffs.
It's not fair. So exactly. Great point, because we have them only getting the 3 wins. We'll talk about those 3 wins. We do have them beating Baylor. They start their first win, against Weber State. We have them losing their opener against Georgia Tech, which is going to be, I think, like I said, they're injured right now. So
They'll run all over them.
right.
Georgia Tech
if you're
will run
injured going into the season, the first game is probably not going to be your best. I don't even think it's a hot take.
Justice Haynes is gonna go for 100 plus.
So we'll see what Little Mendoza's got.
Yeah.
We'll see what Alberto. So But we have them losing that game, obviously. Then we have Weber State, them getting the dub against Baylor, and then their last win is considered an upset, I guess. Is November 21st at Cincinnati. Second last game of the season. I think they are going to beat Cincinnati. I'm not very high on Cincinnati. We'll talk about them. But Dalton, talk about the returning buffs and who they got.
Yeah, not like I said, not too much return of production. Julian Lewis, huge recruit, blue chipper. But didn't play much last year. 509 yards, 4 TDs, no picks though. When you're on the field, you did not throw a pick. He didn't make any mistakes. So if you can be efficient like that, in this offense where they're gonna run more, they say.
Yeah.
Maybe they can be efficient offense. I don't see the explosiveness this year necessarily. I mean, I love Perry and Scudero, but they're both more of a slot types, right?
Yeah.
Not guys that are going to beat you down the field. DeAndre Moore is kind of the same way. So all their top 3 receivers are kind of, better in the slot. So I'm not huge on their explosive plays, but I think they could have a really good run game. I like Welch, man. When he gets a chance, he's been good the past couple of years. 364 yards last year, 4 touchdowns, 4 yards per carry. But they just didn't run that much. 96 carries. He was their RB1. They just didn't rely on the run. Ever.
Yeah.
Since Deion's been there.
That's been their problem.
Since
They've
Deion's
never
been there.
They have never been able to run the ball, and Pat Shurmur didn't
It
do
didn't
it.
even.
Sean Lewis tried to do it, and him and Deion kind of butted heads because he wanted Shedeur to pass, to get that film out. But Matt McChesney made a good point. I'm not going to take credit for this take because I think it's spot on. Passing that much did a disservice to Shedeur because NFL teams would have loved to see him go under the center, would have loved to see him do some play action under center, get that on film, as opposed just to running and gunning and just throwing it every single play. And Shedeur was able to do it. He was able to play hero ball because he's Shedeur. He was able to put on the cape and frankly, get his dad out of a lot of holes that he dug. And so credit to Shedeur.
Great college QB.
Great college QB. I think he was dealt a shit hand, and maybe in all counts. I mean, his only bright spot of his whole career, I think, was Travis Hunter having him. And I'm not saying he would have. That's the only reason he succeeded, because I think Shedeur would have succeeded more at other programs if he would have broke away from just getting coached by his dad and getting coached by someone who has a track record of producing quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So if he would have went to a Florida, maybe even a Florida State at the time, or maybe if he just would have went to, he did have an offer from Bama. You could have
Florida State would have been a good fit.
There's a bunch of teams out there, and you could even look at Oklahoma's of the world, all those where he could have went. But yeah, 3-9. We'll talk about the transfers here. They have some firepower coming in at wide receiver, though. We know the go-go offense they're going to be running, but they have guys who's definitely got some production passing. We talked about Danny Scudero, so we'll talk about it again. Why? Because he had 1,200 yards last year at San Jose State, 1,297 yards to be exact on 88 catches. He was 10 touchdowns, tied for 12th in the nation. So almost had 2 guys coming in with 1,000 yards because they also brought in Cam Perry, who me and Dalton got to scout up close there at Miami of Ohio last year. 976 yards, 6 touchdowns. So if you really want to look at it, they did bring in 2,000 yards of receiving and just within those 2.
DeAndre Moore's better than both of them, too.
As I was just about to bring him up. So DeAndre Moore with Texas. You think he's better?
Yeah, he just didn't get, he didn't get that many targets because they had, a lot of mouths to feed.
Right.
But he's been productive 2 or 3 years in the SEC.
Yeah.
And I just, Scudero and Perry, there's a lot of guys like them. Not to hate on them, but 5'10", 175. They're just quick and shifty, but they can't get you the tough yardage, man. They can't make it,
I think they can.
I don't know.
I think Cam Perry can.
I think Scudero, I love him, but a lot of his game, I think, was upped by the San Jose State system. Same thing like Nick Nash before him.
Yeah.
Nick Nash led the nation. That's the only thing with Scudero. I need to see him do it first, but I'm higher on Cam Perry than Scudero. I think Scudero's their 3rd best receiver.
Okay.
Which, that says a lot about their room.
Yeah.
It's a good room if they stay healthy.
Yeah.
But they got to get healthier, 2 of them are hurt already. Not a great sign.
You make good points, yeah. But they brought in the 2,000 yards receiving, just those 2. But like you said, DeAndre Moore from Texas. They also have Fisher Clements from Northern Colorado at tight end. Ernest Campbell from Sac State at wide receiver. We'll talk about some other guys as well outside. Lianu Liafu from Texas, linebacker.
He's good.
Tyler Martinez from New Mexico State. We have Emmanuel Ezogu from James Madison. And then we have Santana Hopper, D lineman from Tulane. We'll see about him. He's got some grit to him, undersized a little bit with the weight.
We know some guys that love him.
Yeah. Shout out Hank. He loves Santana Hopper. But, yeah, Santana Hopper from Tulane. We'll see what he does this year. Tony Aneen from North Dakota State. Dylan Manuel from App State. Those are all D linemen. Then we have Vili Talfuafu, another notable D lineman, come from San Jose State. So Samu Tamunepe from Baylor, 6 games last year, 2 tackles. And then they do have some running backs coming in as well. They do have one from Sac State, Damian Henderson. Richard Young's coming in from Bama. So they have some, marquee guys, which they've had some marquee guys under, come from really big programs to under Prime's tutelage. So this isn't really new, but I think these guys are a different breed of transfers, in my opinion. I think they're going to rely on these guys a whole lot, and they're going to produce for them. So Richard Young had 5 games last year, 23 carries, 64 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns as well. So it looks like a goal line guy. Definitely got in the end zone, so he's got a knack for it. Let's look at our DBs. Jaja Boyd from Indiana. He was 6 games last year, 8 tackles. Jason Stokes from Utah at corner. He played 13 games last year, only 3 tackles. Did have a pass breakup. But then they did bring in a guy from Lamar. We have a call up here from FCS. Paul Amodia, 57 tackles, 13 pass breakups, and 1 fumble recovery. And Jaden Hardy to round out the notable DBs coming in. He's from Oklahoma, 11 tackles last year, played in 13 games. They did bring up some help on the offensive line. Javon McFadden from Ohio State did play 1 game last year. Leon Hall from Cal. Sean Kinney from Lafayette. Demetrius Hunter from Houston. Then we could talk about Bo Hughley from Georgia. So those are some notable guys. So Dalton, 3-9, unfortunately.
Yeah,
for the Buffs.
man.
And I don't know what will happen. I don't know if there'll be any kind of actions or moves after that. I don't think so. But I think Brendan Marion was the right hire. It's just going to take some time to get it going. Some people are saying, we didn't even talk about. Some people are saying that Isaac Wilson is like better than Juju right now. Quarterback, obviously, a quarterback, coming with a lot of experience. I don't know, man.
Zach Wilson's brother.
Obviously Zach Wilson's brother, the Mormon MILF hunter from BYU. And they're saying he's doing better. I don't know what to believe.
He's fast.
I don't know if to believe if it's to fool the media or if Juju's struggling. But I think it's Juju's the guy.
He might be better, but I don't think they'll start him either way, yeah.
Thank you. Just from a business standpoint, because if you're a guy with production like Wilson is, like, okay, he's been around the block a little bit. I should be able to throw you in week 6, week 4 if stuff goes crazy, as opposed to Juju, which I think you have to get him going, because he did reclassify, so this would be his true freshman year, even though it's his second year. So we'll see. But that's the last thing on the Buffs. We'll move on, Dalton, to Rock Chalk.
Yeah.
Jayhawks. They had the magical season a couple
good
years
logo.
ago.
I love their branding.
I love their branding. They need to bring back the red helmets.
Their helmets are sick now with the big logo, though.
I know, but they need to bring back the red ones.
Yeah.
And I think they may have gotten rid of the red jerseys. But I know they got rid of the red helmets. But
they were good 3 years ago, Jalen Daniels. Couldn't get it the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Used all his magic up, it seemed like.
Yeah, he's in Tampa now with the Buccaneers. So first year without Jalen Daniels. Dalton, talk about who they got coming back, just some of the returners. We got them going 3-9. Before you do that, I guess we can just talk about the schedule a little bit.
Yeah.
And what we think. Because, they're going to be towards the bottom, unfortunately. Like we say, we're doing bottom to the top. But the Jayhawks, it's going to be a building block year, right? I don't think we have really high hopes for them. LIU, they're going to win the first game. But then they got Missouri, Arizona State. We do have them winning against MTSU. Their last win coming in November against UCF. But they have some tough games here. We can talk about it. Obviously, they're going to do the Big-12 roundabout. They'll do Utah, Kansas State, Baylor, which you could maybe say if that's a toss-up. I don't know.
Yeah, Baylor. I think I think they're ceiling. They could go 5-7.
Yeah.
I could see them beating Baylor and West Virginia.
West Virginia, yeah.
But 2 toss-ups. Yeah.
Then they end their season with Oklahoma State, which definitely project that to be a loss. But
BYU before that, yeah, tough end of the year.
Very tough, very tough. Talk about who they got coming in, and then I will look at some transfers here that are worth talking about out of the slew of transfers they have.
Yeah, I can't pick it, man. I like this guy. He was first game last year. I was watching Kansas. He scored 3 touchdowns. He ended up with 3 all year. But that's he had a lot of injuries, missed a lot of time. Still have 45 catches though, 476 yards. Solid receiver. I like him for Cole Ballard. Last year he was the backup behind Jalen Daniels. He's been the backup 2 or 3 years. He only got in a little bit last year, threw for 108 yards. So you don't really know what you're getting from the quarterback position, but they like this guy. They may not, he's in a battle though right now with Isaiah Marshall, who was on the team last year as well. More of a mobile guy, maybe not as accurate. So they're still trying to figure out the quarterback position as we speak. They don't know who they're going to start yet. Interesting to watch that battle. But on defense, they do got some decent guys coming back. Leroy Harris, 4.5 sacks last year, 23 solo tackles. So solid production for the DN. Blake Harrell, D tackle. We talk about all the time. Numbers aren't that important, but 19 solo tackles for a D tackle in college. I think that's pretty good. Considering what we've been seeing, that's a lot of tackles for D tackle. 2 sacks as well and a forced fumble. So he's pretty good up the middle. Trey Lathan at linebacker, 6'1", 228, 51 solos last year. So he's just a solid, good tackler, can wrap up. And he's not great against the pass, though. No PBUs, only 1 pick. So he's more of a run stopper, but you got to have those in college, especially in the Big-12, man. Teams run the ball for 6 yards a carry, it seems like.
Yeah, I think Big-12's I think most teams.
Hey, throw a lot, too. It's just offensive. This is offensive conference.
Well, we'll just see. I think I noticed with Big-12 a lot is we'll have some shootouts, yeah, but I think most Big-12 teams, they all start the third quarter just trying to play smash-mouth football and take up that third quarter.
Yeah, the first half, shootout.
Yeah, then they light it up fourth quarter again and start airing it out. But, yeah, I think most Big-12 teams I've noticed, at least last year, they would always just try to ground and pound, and they'd bring out the whole stable of running backs to keep them fresh in the third quarter just to try to, stay fresh and, have that running game established going into the fourth.
Yeah, like Kansas used to have, and they had Devin Neal.
Yeah.
And they had, I forgot who the other back was, but they had 2 really solid backs with Neal there. Now that they need that back, they don't have a running back coming back last year with really in production, so we'll see what they do at the running back position. They got 2 good corners coming back, though, which is always good, especially in this conference. A lot of good receivers. Jalen Todd and Austin Alexander combined for 64 solo tackles last year and 6 PBUs, so solid production. You like to get, see them at least get 1 pick combined. They didn't have many turnovers as a team last year, so that's something they're going to look to do way more often this year. If they brought in a new D coordinator, we'll see how he does. But man, this team's just not much returning talent, and they don't get great talent. It's just Kansas football. It's not. I don't think it's the coach's fault. I just think it's the way this college is ran, man. They're all about basketball.
Yeah,
they really are.
Yeah, a lot of that, and it's just honestly it's a tough sell because I think there's a lot of just adjacent programs to Kansas within their own conference that are just like the same kind of benefits, right?
Yeah, in a better city. You don't want to live in Kansas unless you have to.
Exactly, that too.
There's nothing to do when you're not playing football.
That too.
Nothing.
That's JUCO land up there in Texas. It's big JUCO land. But let's talk about some of their transfers here. They got some help there at safety and corners. So let's talk about some of their defensive backs. Corey Gordon from Louisville, 13 games last year.
Shit, good tackles.
Total, 27 solos. Then we can talk about Roman Pearson from Ball State, 27 tackles last year in 12 games. So those are notable guys in the DBs. Obviously not all of them. Let's move on to linebackers. Jabril Al-Amin from Marshall, 12 games last year. He had 26 solo, 56 total tackles, 3 sacks, and 3 pass breakups, and then 1 forced fumble. Then here's a great name here. Next linebacker coming in from Boston College, Bam Crouch. So also listed as Davion Crouch, but Bam Crouch, shout out to Bam. Injury last year, but he did play 4 games, had 12 tackles, 7 solos. Did also get a pick in that 4 games.
Oh, nice. Pick 6.
Yeah, 1.5 tackles for loss, so shout out to him. Getting some linebacker help, getting some help in the back 8 there, bringing in Jerron Willis from South Carolina as well. Let's go a bit D-line here. They have some guys, 35 tackles last year for Trayvon McAlpine, from Tulane.
Oh, yeah, he's a beast.
Yep, all AAC, second team last year. So did get a sack, 2 tackles for loss. Probably going to try to up those numbers. They got Landon Watson from Kentucky, defensive end, 12 games last year, 21 tackles. Amon Smalls, defensive line, coming from UAB, 11 games, 10 starts, 50 tackles, 24 solo.
And 50 is a lot for a D lineman.
I swear, and I people like ESPN only displays solos. I think if you're a defensive lineman, your assisted are just as important as a solo.
Yeah, and then you got to click another tab.
So I don't hate on those.
I don't
look at. Obviously, if you have like 50 assisted tackles and only 2 solos, yes, that is a problem. But I think when I look at assisted tackles when defensive linemen, that means usually they were there first.
Yeah, I think Emon Smalls might be. They got good transfers on defense.
Yeah, they do. They did get a GVSU transfer there, getting the call up 10 games last year. Jabril Condi, 30 tackles. That's the help they got D linemen. And they have Kevin Otis from Arkansas and David Santiago from Michigan State, 24 tackles. Talk about, they got a tight end here, Carter Moss from UAlbany. Give him a shout out, just a call up. Nothing too notable there on tight ends. Wide receivers, they only brought in 2 notable guys. Nick McMillan from Buffalo.
He's good,
62
man.
receptions, 981 yards. Not too many guys. I mean, we just talked about Danny Scudero and Cam Perry. I get it. They racked it up. But 981 yards is something it's hard to find in the portal, right? Wide receivers, we noticed with a lot of these conferences, not a lot of guys floating around with 900 yards.
Buffalo's going to have 2 wide receiver ones this year.
Love it.
Like transferred out.
Yeah.
Victor Snow.
Yep.
NC State, he's probably their number 1. Yeah. And I think McMillan's going to end up being Kansas' number 1. That tells you Buffalo was loaded last year, low-key.
Yeah, that's not a hot take. I know.
L.J. Henderson at running back was a beast.
They just had quarterback problems. They
Roberson threw too many picks.
They should have started Jason Wright the whole year.
Roberson threw too many picks, for sure.
And he would throw picks at the worst times.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like, all right, we need first down pick. I mean, it would just it almost never fails. So shout out. They definitely got some help. And, yeah, they definitely lost some guys. And they're going to definitely try to reload. But they brought in some guys, like we said. Nick McMillan, 981 yards, 3 touchdowns, though, so looking to get more trips to the end zone. They brought in Najee Cox from MTSU, 473 yards at the receiver's position. They brought in some help at running back, though, Dalton. Dylan Edwards from Kansas State.
Yeah, that's their starter. Yeah.
That's their guy. 205 yards, though, only in 4 games, got hurt. Yazin Willis from Syracuse, 129 carries, 558 yards, so he might – I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they are, like, really close in carries.
I was going to say maybe 50-50 because I like Yassine, dude. He's one of the he's like 230.
Yeah.
Physical, man. He falls forward every time.
Exactly. I
like Yassine.
That's a big one. If you're always fighting for extra yardage is a really X factor for me with running backs. Like
just fall forward and you're going to be a good back.
Because that falls into the motor. So.
I mean, if you get an extra yard every play, yeah.
And they also have Jalen Dupree had 508 yards for Colorado State last year, so got a lot of help coming in. Then they have a bunch of offensive linemen. Brandon Solis from Missouri. Kason Carpenter, Oklahoma State. Connor Stroth from Texas, 5 starts last year. So those are the notable guys they're bringing in. We can talk about quarterbacks as well. They only brought in 1 notable guy, Chase Jenkins from Rice. 1,000 yards last year, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks. But he did it 531 yards rushing. 5 touchdowns rushing.
So, yeah, I think it's a true 3-way battle right now.
Really?
Quarterback position.
3-way.
I don't think they know who they're going to start. Yeah.
That's what I get at Skyline.
I think Ballard, Marshall, and, I wouldn't count out Jenkins at all. He had solid numbers last year. He can run. Him and Marshall can both run. So I don't know who they're going to go with.
We'll see. We will see about it, but that pretty much sums it up here for the Jayhawks. Rock Chalk. Let's go into the next team, which a team that has some Sorsby residue on them. And that is the Cincinnati Bearcats. Talk about them, Dalton, just your overall thoughts and what your expectations are, and we'll get into all the meat and potatoes with Cincinnati.
You know how we feel about this coach already on this show. We talked about him last year a lot.
Satterfield.
Because, man, he actually had some really good players last year. Yeah. Couldn't win no games, though.
Shout Caldwell.
Sorsby, Cyrus Allen, preseason camp darling of the Chiefs. If anybody's seen his name out there, they had Jeff Caldwell, shout out, Chiefs, local guy. They were just loaded last year on offense, and they still couldn't really get nothing done. So that's why we have, take another step back this year. The returning production, man, just not much to speak of, honestly. Like, C-Mods Jones was the backup last year. Only had 72 yards and a touchdown. He probably won't start anyways.
Right.
But it's always important to have a quarterback coming back regardless, even if you don't start. You know the playbook, you know the ins and outs of the program. You can help the starter. All that good stuff. But that's really it for offense, man. They lost all the receivers, tight ends, running backs. No, not much production return on offense. Defense, you got a little bit. You got 4 guys that were solid guys coming back. Marquez Parker played a little bit. He's an oversized DN, 285, so he's more of a run stopper. 5 tackles last year, sack and a half. They got 2 linebackers coming back that are solid. Jonathan Thompson and Simeon Coleman. They combined for 60 tackles last year, but they didn't do much against the pass. Only one PBU combined and one pick combined, so they need better play against the pass for the linebackers. Antoine Peak, I think overall is the best player probably, especially like talking NFL. 6'1", 214 safety, kind of play nickel too. Like he can cover too for being 214. 27 tackles, 2 forced fumbles in a PBU last year, but that's about it for returners. Man, they just don't have a lot in the chamber to speak of, man.
No, not a lot that are too familiarity there with this program, so I think that's going to definitely play a part. We have them winning their first 3 games, that being their only wins. They're going on a 3-0, and then it's pretty much all downhill from there, starting with Kansas State. So, Kansas State, Arizona, West Virginia, Texas Tech, Utah, Houston, Iowa State. So, I mean, maybe they could steal one at Iowa State. Maybe.
I could see. I mean, they could go.
I do think Colorado. They're going to lose to Colorado. I think it's going to be so late in the season to where Colorado's not going to have the season. They're going to be so pissed off.
Yeah.
Where they're just going to be running it down someone's throat and just playing pissed off football and trying to get some good film out there. Because I think we will see more of that. The transfer portal. We're going to see more teams where you're out of bowl eligibility, but I think players are still going to play hard because they know they're going to be in the portal in a month and they're going to try to get as much film as they can. Then they finished at BYU, so 3-9, not the greatest. Yeah, we could talk about their incoming transfers, some notable guys. Let's go ahead and do that. Javani Gibson.
Yeah, J.V. Gibson. I like J.V. Gibson.
And he's coming from Oklahoma, 199 yards last year, 18 catches.
The year before, though, he had like 1,800 FCS, so I think he's gonna have a better year. He's at least gonna get targets in this offense because he has to,
And then we could talk about another FCS guy, Malachi Henry, coming from Central Arkansas, 69 catches, 889 yards, and 10 touchdowns.
Nice.
So pretty rare to see double-digit touchdowns coming in because a lot of those FCS guys are playing with not the greatest quarterbacks. So 10 touchdowns, pretty impressive. Cade Walford's also coming in with 509 yards from Kent State. Also, I think he had 96 yards rushing on 12 carries. So shout out to him. Got a speedy guy. 7 touchdowns on the year from Kent State. So another guy that's going to be in a call-up. They did get a guy with 1,000 yards under his belt, Lorenzo Finner from South Dakota. So shout out. So that's 1,000 yards including the playoffs. I don't know if you want to count playoffs. I count them. But 15 touchdowns. So
15 tutties.
They have some guys coming in with some production, man. And I think just their quarterback play is going to be a question. J.C. French probably going to be their guy coming from Georgia Southern. 2,900 yards last year, 20 touchdowns, 8 picks. I just think he's going to be playing a lot better defenses. We can talk about maybe some of their offensive line, but what do you think about their quarterback position, about J.C. French? Is he your guy? I mean, they brought in Liam O'Brien from Penn as well, who had 2,300 yards, but I think definitely J.C. French is better. But what do you think about their quarterback position? Is that going to be their strength, or is that going to be their Achilles heel?
I don't think it's neither. I think their quarterback play is just going to be average, pedestrian, good enough, but not great.
Okay. So
I think J.C. French is solid, but he's not great. He's just solid. He's nothing exciting about his game. I watch his film. I mean, he gets it done and he's efficient, but he's more of like a game manager in my opinion.
Right, system guy.
Because Georgia Southern's usually they put up a lot more passing yards than that in the past couple of years. So I think he was just more of a game manager type, but I'm excited to watch this receiving room, though.
Yeah, and then exactly.
These guys got numbers. It's just they did at lower levels. Can they step it up?
And I love that.
They got talent. I like the running back room too. I like the 3 transfers. I like Perry's been really good at Louisiana, and then I like Jibrin Payne a lot. He got a couple carries last year, not many, but he was behind 2 first-round picks at running back.
Right.
I really like his talent, though, so I think their backfield could be solid.
Yeah, they brought Cole Tabb.
Cole Tabb's solid, too.
From Stanford, 445 yards. Then you already brought up Zylan Perry from Louisiana, 689 yards last year, 8 touchdowns. And then Payne from Notre Dame, like you said, did have some limited some production, but was behind those studs. So, yeah, I would be very, very excited about their chances for some upsets if they had a better quarterback, in my opinion. So it sucks to say that because I do like the receivers, like you said. Defense, we can bring up for a little bit here. They got Jacob Finley, 57 tackles, corner from NIU. They have South Alabama safety Ty Goodwill. He had 10 games under his belt, 18 solo tackles. He did get a pick, 7 PBUs, so that's pretty good. 77 tackles for Jasper Beeler from NIU, so took a pair of guys there. in the defensive back, so familiarity there. I like always see pairs coming in the same position or similar positions, like two ends coming in, or an end and a linebacker. I think it's always nice, and it always helps out with continuity. But we will see, man. We will see. MJ Cannon from Bowling Green, he had 57 tackles at corner. Then looking at linebackers, let's see if they got any notables. 58 tackles for Josh Hugh on the D-line, but he was California PA, so he's getting a call up. 87 tackles from Philip Markiowski from NIU, so a bunch of NIU guys coming over.
Yeah, they do got a lot.
Yeah, Illinois State guy. Illinois State made a great run in the FCS playoffs last year. 67 tackles for Patrick Bauer at linebacker. He's coming in, 3.5 sacks, 2 picks. So shout out to those guys, man. I do like a lot of these guys transfers on paper, but we just do not know what they're going to do when they're all, even the guys that are FBS, they're all getting call-ups from lower competition.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then we're going to move on to this conference, man. This conference is going to be crazy. It's going to be moving around like a cyclone. In the word. So let's talk about cyclones. Iowa State, 4-8, unfortunately. They lost their coach. He went to greener pastures or bluer pastures, as you can say. They bring in Jimmy Rogers. So Jimmy Rogers comes in from Washington State. 33-9 record coming in, so pretty impressive. But you just never know what you're going to get. 0-0 at Iowa State. That's the main point. He played linebacker at South Dakota State, just to give you some back story on this guy. But when you lose Campbell,
he lost your whole team.
When you lose Campbell, he took everybody that could play.
He almost every starter is. They have like one guy that started like more than 6 games coming back. Yeah. 2 guys. They're both on defense.
Brutal.
And they don't have great production either way. So I mean, he took Becht. He took Carson Hansen. He took a receiver I really like, Chase Soul. Took Benjamin Brommer for tight end, really good tight end. Took a couple great safeties. He took good corners. He took everybody, man. He took the whole team. Caleb Bacon's gone. Dominique Big Orange ain't walking back through that door either.
No, he's not.
They just lost everybody that was good last year. So, it's a complete rebuilding effort.
Yeah, I agree. And then we'll talk about that 4-8. We got them winning their first game against Southeast Missouri, SEMO. We got them beating Bowling Green. We do getting, I don't know if you can call it upset. I don't know. It's a pretty much even
at home.
Even matchup with West Virginia. Yeah, we got them winning that and then winning Cincinnati. So, tough games. It's Big 12. The more you look at it, they are kind of beating up on each other. The more we kind of look at this.
Oh, yeah.
But there is some solid football to be played. I really can't wait to talk about kind of we move up the ladder here to Iowa State. But talk about some of the transfers, man. Running back, Arnold Barnes coming in from Tulane, 217 yards. 365 yards at running back at Cameron Petaway from Bowling Green. So it looks like those will be the 2 guys in the stable kind of running the show. Jordan Bailey coming in from TCU, not a lot of production. Omari Hayes coming from Tulane. Carter Paps from Washington State at wide receiver. Cody Jackson from Tarleton State. He's given the call up. And then Evan Boyd from Michigan State. Looks like that's the receiving core. And then some limited reps here for their tight ends coming. Ben Hallmark, Central Arkansas, 67 yards. Christian Greenlaw, Hampton. Jordan Vibori, Oklahoma State. Tyler Fortenberry from Arkansas State. I do like him. He's not bad.
Yeah, he might be their starter.
Yeah, he's not bad. And then we can talk about Zane Flores and Jalen Rayner coming in at quarterback.
Yeah.
Zane Flores coming in from Oklahoma State. Jalen Rayner coming in from Arkansas State. So, Dalton, who's your favorite there on the quarterbacks? Let me bring up their stats here. I have their stats, and that can maybe give you inkling, even though they're at new spots. Zane Flores had a negative ratio, so never good. 3 touchdowns, 7 picks, 1,400 yards. But Jalen Rayner lit it up. Good video game guy.
Oh, yeah.
3,361 yards, 19 touchdowns, 11 picks. I guess Jalen Rayner's the penciled-in guy.
Oh, yeah. He's starting, man. I like his game. I like Rayner. I've always liked him. He's been a 3-year starter already since his freshman year at Arkansas State. And, he's been pretty consistent. He's got better each year. So hopefully he's got another step in him this year. If he does, they could surprise, win a couple more games. Maybe get to 5 or 6. But I think that's their ceiling regardless of how good he plays, just with the rest of this roster.
Yeah, let's talk about the rest of the roster. Like you said, most of those guys are being transfers. Let's take a look at the defense. Well, they do have some offensive linemen coming in, obviously. Some big call-ups from Colorado Mines and Cade Meyer, Caden Moss from Sioux Falls. I haven't heard about Sioux Falls until this grabbing all this information. Gavin Brosis from Michigan State. But on the defense, Dalton, they do have Jared Ramos from Montana. He had 31 tackles. But not a lot of production, man, just on this defense coming in. They have some DBs coming in.
Yeah, you're right. Most of them they didn't play a lot.
Yeah, Michael Harper, 45 tackles last year from Montana. Malcolm Jones from Jack State. Jaheim Singletary from Arkansas. He played 9 games, had 12 tackles. That's pretty much the best production, especially in the DBs, the FBS level coming in. So, yeah, man, I think it's going to be, unfortunately, a long year. Iowa State's always had some pretty good football. Just unfortunately, with this wave of change, that has a ripple effect. Either it goes really, really good, you find the right guy, he brings a whole roster full of great guys who still have eligibility, or you're kind of in Iowa State's program where you have to find your guys and not only, get those guys acquainted to your new style, but find your identity. It's hard. Let's get into the next team who's in a pickle, Dalton. Baylor. 4-8.
Yeah.
We have Dave Aranda on the hot seat, unfortunately. We can talk about that right now, I guess. So going into the season, he's 36-35 at Baylor. 1-2 bowl record. 23-27 in Big-12. But did have that one Big-12 championship.
He did have that.
So I think it's still, we had the hot seat a long time ago, that episode, that segment. He's still in the hot seat, do you think, getting Lagway in?
Oh, yeah. What's Lagway proven? He had one good game.
Oh.
Against Texas last year. That's it, man.
Man, just to hear you as a Florida fan say that, it's
sad. I mean,
kind of sad.
You know what game I went to last year?
Yep.
Worst game any player played all season. Probably. His 5 picks, and they are all terrible picks, right to him. I love Lagway just because, he was a Gator first. He committed to us. Still love him. I hope he has a great year. But he's going to need a lot of help because, man, the receivers, they all left. Josh Cameron got drafted. They had 2 really explosive guys on the outside that were fast that complimented him last year. They both left. They lost their starting running back to Auburn, transferred to Auburn, Bryson Washington. They lost their tight end, Michael Trigg, beast that we loved.
I loved Michael Trigg.
We thought he was awesome. They lost him. So this offense that was very productive last year just loses pretty much everybody, And then their defense is – we haven't seen a good defense at Baylor. I don't think ever. They might have some guys here and there, that can play the next level, but they don't have a collective good group. I don't think I've ever seen one. So that's what that's one of the reasons we got to go 4-8.
Yeah.
Because the returners, there's just not much to speak of. Knighton was a backup last year. He was solid in his backup duties. He had 469 yards and a TD, 4.5 yards per carry. Only 1 TD though. So maybe he's not a goal line back. Need somebody else to step up. I know Dawson Pendergrass is coming back. Love him. Really good back. Missed last year with the injury, but 2 years ago he was 50-50 starter, and he was pretty productive, and he's a really good pass catcher. But man, their defense, they got some good guys coming back on defense. 27 tackles for Kylan Reed, 1 forced fumble. LeVar Thornton had 7 PBUs at corner, and I love his size for a corner, 6'3". Love a tall corner. If you're over 6 foot, that's my kind of corner. Nowadays, I don't want you to be 5'10" anymore.
No, you got to be pretty much. We're seeing 6'2" corners all the time now.
And Kloppenstein was the backup to Trigg last year. He only had 8 catches, 73 yards, but that's their leading returning, receiver on the team is their backup tight end. So they're going to need Lagway to find a lot of new weapons and find them quick because this conference, it's not a lot of easy wins.
No, they start their season off with Auburn. We do have them getting 2 wins in a row, Prairie View A&M and Louisiana Tech, but we do have them losing, going on a 3-game losing streak after that. Colorado, Arizona State, and TCU. Then we do have them beating Kansas, but losing against UCF. Their last win of the season coming against Iowa State, which is definitely, I think, maybe an upset. We'll see who's rocking and rolling and playing their better football.
Last 3 games is a gauntlet.
As a gauntlet. BYU, Texas Tech, and Houston. Come on. Top 3 few teams.
3 of the top 4.
Yeah, in the conference. So you're curious to see who they got coming in at receiver. We can just kind of take a look who they got coming in, transferring. At receiver, they have Jaden McGowan coming in from Charlotte. Gavin Freeman come from Oklahoma State, 53 receptions last year, 481 yards.
Track star speed,
4 touchdowns. They'll probably be their guy. Draylon Miller, 11 games last year, 158 yards and 1 touchdown. brought in Lagway. Obviously, talked about him. They brought in some offensive linemen. Cooper Lovelace from Colorado. Lawson Petty from Incarnate Word. Yakiri Walker from Memphis. He's 13 games, started all of them at center. Cole Recht at Toledo. Asher Hale, South Alabama. Then at defense, Dalton. They did get an Indiana transfer, so he's coming with some jewelry.
Jose Wheeler's good, yeah.
Yeah, Jose Wheeler, 16 games, 5 starts, 31 tackles, 4 tackles for losses. So impressive there. Jordan Mack, Coastal Carolina. He had played in 13 games. Damian Wimberly, UTSA, played in 12 games. Xavion Handy from South Carolina. So D lineman, they have some guys coming in, definitely going to lean on. Then at linebacker, Kedrick Walker from Georgia State, 57 tackles. Garrick Ponder from Southern Miss and J.J. Shelton from Arkansas. Then the DBs, Daniel Cobbs from Kansas State. He had 39 tackles last year, 2 PBUs and 3 picks. So that's pretty notable there. And LSU transfer, Austin Osbury. So those will be guys they'll definitely lean on in the safety. Those are the notable guys coming in. So Baylor, hot seat for Dave Aranda, unfortunately. Do you think they make a move and when they realize all this hell's breaking loose before that gauntlet at the end of the season? Are they coaching with an intern? Are they coaching with a new guy? Or do they make a move?
I honestly think they get rid of him, yeah.
Me too.
If they go 4-8, like we think they are, yeah. I mean, it's like a Morville kind of trajectory, you know. They both won that conference that year, and then he didn't have a stream of a low, I guess. He didn't go 1-11, but he went 3-9, and then last year they weren't great. This year they're not gonna be good either. We don't think so. Yeah, I think it's time for him to go. I mean, it's not an easy place to win, though.
It's not.
They're not gonna get a guy in there that can win every year. I don't think. I mean, but you don't know. You don't know.
No,
Just takes the right guy. I mean, we would have said that about Indiana 5 years ago. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have a take on where I think athletic programs in situations like Baylor's, when they have strong basketball and strong football, or they don't have strong football, but they are in a big conference.
They were,
obviously.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
have been
strong, history. I think they're going to flip flop, and they might support you and back you really heavy in football for a couple years. If that doesn't work, they're definitely going to pull that away and just keep it at basketball. So. Yeah, man, I really don't know. I think this is going to be a big year. If not, it might be a couple down years for them as they try to find their footing and try to identify their new guy. But I do agree. I think they will make a move. I think they will fire Dave Aranda. Unfortunately, I think the era will come to an end. His time at Baylor, because he'll probably definitely be under 5. He'll definitely be under 500 at that time.
Yeah.
And have a losing record. So it just never works if you have a losing coaching record. I think that's pretty. They gave him enough time. Do you think that they gave him enough time? Or?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think so, man.
I agree.
Sorry, Robertson was an ice, bro.
I agree. Let's talk about a team who's definitely had some history, but we have a 4-8 record for them as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about West Virginia. Rich Rod, Pat White's there. We have our boy Scotty Fox week. You can't wait till you talk on him. They're quarterback, but he's in a quarterback battle. But someone's got to lose some of these games. And unfortunately, 4-8. It sucks to see West Virginia. They've always just so much fun to watch as kids. But talk about your take there on West Virginia and Rich Rod this year, Dalton.
Well, Scotty Fox, love him.
Yeah.
Balled last year. Had a lot of explosives, right? A lot of big plays, running and passing. I mean, he had 1,276 yards passing, 7 touchdowns and 6 picks. But he was really mobile. He put on so much weight from when we've seen him.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like a completely different guy. I think he should win the job. It doesn't look like he's going to, unfortunately. Congrats to Michael Hawkins, though. It looks like he's going to win the job. Oklahoma transfer. But I think they got two solid options, if Hawkins goes down or Fox does end up winning. Either way, they got a good backup. So that's good to have. But I like Scotty Fox's ceiling. I think he has a good future. If it's not at West Virginia, he can start somewhere.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
So we'll see what happens there. But I love him. That's it for offense, though, man. They're losing the running backs and the receivers, pretty much all of them. And that's pretty common at the bottom of this conference, it seems like.
Yeah.
The teams we talked about having bad seasons aren't bringing any running backs or receivers back. That's huge in college, man. Their defense is solid, though. Ben Coder, really good linebacker, 16 tackles and 2 picks last year, so he can play run and pass. But the other returners, I mean, not much production. Gabriel only had 3 tackles at D-tackle. Corey McIntyre, the other D-tackle returning, he only had 4 tackles. And then Keyshawn Robinson, the only returning DB, had 9 tackles, but no PBUs or picks. So kind of Rich Rod kind of, getting another restart, it seems like, in year 2, because he didn't bring many when he got back from his first team. I thought his first team was decent.
Oh, yeah.
For given his resources at West Virginia, they don't have the most money. They don't have the best track record of, getting studs out of high school.
Yeah, Neil Brown definitely let him a shit sandwich to come in.
Yeah, Neil Brown didn't.
Wasn't a good situation, so I totally agree. But he did bring in some guys with him, man. We can go ahead and talk about it.
You brought in one really good one.
One really good one, Cam Cook from Jack State, running back. I think, they're going to definitely be leaning on him all year, especially with whoever they go at running back. They'll definitely use their legs and try to be a little bit, unpredictable, but still predictable. Like, who's they're going to run. You just don't know who's going to run. So Cam Cook, definitely big year, 295 carries, 1,600 yards last year, 5.6 per carry. And he had 16 touchdowns.
Yeah,
so that'll do, right? That'll do at the running back position. They also brought in Caden Luke from Arizona to help out. Tight ends they brought in Cam Ball from Mississippi State, only 2 catches on the year, and Josh Sapp from Clemson, 150 yards on the year, only 11 catches. But let's talk about some receivers. John Nieder from UConn, Teron Francis from LSU, DJ Epps from Troy, and Prince Strachan from USC. So Strachan had 25 yards last year, limited production. They brought in some offensive line help. Amari Grayson from Jack State, Karsten Cassidy from UConn, Cam Griffin from Jack State, Wes King from Wyoming. Those are some notable guys. But like you said, Michael Hawkins last year only had 167 yards, 3 touchdowns from Oklahoma. So we don't know what we're getting. He's been playing college football longer, but we know more what we're getting with Scotty Fox.
Yeah.
That's why it kind of puzzles me why Scotty Fox isn't at least the front runner.
I swear.
But we'll see. I guess we're playing favoritism because we got to see Scotty.
We might be, but he looked good last year. That ain't favoritism. To
Yeah.
say he looked good last year when he played, he did.
He did, and his offensive line played shitty.
Yeah.
They were bad. But defense, we could talk about some of their transfers coming in. Emerson Joy from Alberta, so Canada. Alberta up there playing up north, 8 games last year, 16 solo. Ezekiel Durham Campbell from Coastal Carolina, 42 tackles. They're on defensive end. Oregon transfer Toby Hastrip, only played in 3 games, 1 tackle, but did get some help on defensive end from some lower programs there that we'd love to talk about. Harper Holloman from WKU. David Afago from Bowling Green. So love to see that. Then their DBs, man, we kind of rounded out. Because they did bring in some linebacker help in Jason Hall and Villanova, 41 tackles. And then safety, Cameron Reddick from Stephen F. Austin. Jacob Bradford from LSU at safety. Pretty much wraps it up there for the transfers. Not even guys with stats. Jair Rollison from Kent State at corner, 54 tackles. So Dalton, can they maybe squeeze out, maybe get a 5th win? We have them beating Coastal Carolina. We got them beating UT Martin, of course. But losing, right? Virginia, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Arizona, loss. We do have them beating Cincinnati. Can they possibly beat a sleeper if Iowa State, right? Maybe they could just get that win.
Yeah, they could beat Iowa State for sure. That's a toss-up.
It's still only bringing you to
5-7,
man.
yeah.
It's just a rough.
I don't see another win unless they...
We have them beating Kansas.
Yeah, I don't see another one.
Because they end their season after that Cincinnati win. We'll talk about it. We didn't get to, I just kind of got ADHD right there. But TCU, Texas Tech, Kansas, Houston, and Utah. So find me the win. Kansas is where we found it. And it's just hard. Yeah, it's just the cookie's going to crumble bad for West Virginia. So sorry, Rich Rod. We do love you, though. He's definitely fun to talk about. And then another team who's had another team we'll move on to has had some success there is UCF. Hard to find the wins for them this year, in my opinion. I want to get your opinion. Maybe we have different opinions, but what do you think about UCF this year, Dalton?
Well, I can't decide. I kind of like them.
Yeah.
I like their quarterback.
Okay.
I like Alonzo Barnett, man. I think he could do some things on the field. He showed it against Oregon last year. He wasn't the reason they lost. It's their defense.
Yeah.
Their offense balled out against Oregon, man. Played way better than Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Way better than Beaver Morton. And guess what? Beaver Morton's in the NFL.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, but he's in the league. So that tells you how good Alonzo Barnett is. If he's in the league, you just got better be in the league. That's just one position, you know. This team starts with their DBs, I think, man. Their corner room, if they ain't the best in the conference, they're second behind Texas Tech.
Really?
These 3 corners combined for 17 PBUs last year between the 3 of them. They had 58 tackles combined. Only 1 pick. But if you're getting, if you have any PBUs, picks are going to come. corner is a weird, fickle position. One year you'll have 8 picks, next year you'll have 1.
Right.
It's about you gotta have everything go right to get a pick, man. It's not just about being in the right place. So their DBs are really good. Lewis Carter, really good linebacker coming back. 53 solos last year. 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. So he brings the lumber and get that ball out. R.J. Jackson at D tackle coming back. 13 solos for a D tackle at 310. Pretty solid. 1.5 sacks. So he's got a little bit of pass rush upside. So their defense, I think their defense could be, maybe top half of this conference.
You seem to like them.
But their offense, don't love their offense. I love Burnett, but I don't love their running back room. And Dwayne Thomas, the only good receiver coming back. 52 catches last year, but he only had 528 yards. So that's 10 yards a catch. Not very explosive, just a guy that's going to, first down chain mover, which is great to have, but you need some explosives. I think that will really come from Dylan Wade, one of my favorite tight ends in the country, actually. 43 catches last year for 523 and 5 TDs, so 12.2 yards per catch for a tight end. Anything in college over 10, I've noticed for a tight end is really good.
Yeah.
Because, they use them so in line in college. Compared to NFL now, you're split out a lot more. So, they got some this is the best returning production we've talked about so far, I think, of any of the teams.
So far, yeah.
But,
for sure.
Scott Frost is only his second year.
And I think
The
that makes
cupboard was
sense.
bare, man. Like, who was that, Chiswick?
Gene
Or
Chisholm?
Malzahn was there. Gus Malzahn was there?
Gus Malzahn.
You left it pretty bad for Scott Frost, man. He didn't leave a lot of good players on the roster.
Yeah, those kind of older guys are, it's a young man's game. I feel like with coaches in these days, and Gus Malzahn, kind of ran his course. But you think we'll see some Kewan running there in some goal line?
I would love
Kewan
that.
Jenkins, transfer quarterback.
Yeah,
from
dude, I love
FIU.
him. We saw him last year in person, and
Yeah.
he can do it all. He can run and throw. Very, very mobile.
I think we'll see.
I
that.
don't think he should have transferred here.
No,
He needed to go somewhere. He's good enough to start at
he just got a bag.
some Power 4 programs. Like he could.
But for what I've
He's
noticed,
better than Gio Lopez.
what I've noticed, you can get a bag with just a G4.
I mean-
P4 backup.
True.
P4 backups are making $700K.
I'm sure he got
Like
a promotion.
$800K a year.
I'm sure he definitely got promotion going from
They're getting,
FIU.
they're getting about $600K depending where you're at.
And maybe he just wanted to stay in state, because he was at FIU. So that could be a thing, too. Maybe he wants to be close to family or something. We don't know his situation.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see him start somewhere. I really like his game last year. But, hey, it's good to have 2 good quarterbacks, too, in case, Alonzo goes down. I don't think they won't really miss a beat with Keon.
No, we'll see. And they're going to definitely have some new guys to rely on, some guys they brought in. We can talk about some of the receivers. Jonathan Bibbs from ULM, Josh Derry from Monmouth. Then let's look at the running backs. Duke Watson from Louisville, 49 carries last year, 158 yards. Landon Chambers from Central Arkansas. Tight ends, Sam Houston, Dylan Burke, and then Grayson Brosall from Oklahoma State, 45 yards last year. And Dylan Burke had 55 yards for Sam Houston last year. So not too much production. We'll see if they can see if there will be 2 receiving kind of guys, 2 blockers, see how they use them. We just don't know what we're going to get, and kind of makes it more fun. So we can talk about those are the returners there, and then, talk about defense.
Yeah.
They have Artavius Jones from Miami, a defensive lineman, made that national championship run. They have Brad Gurley from EKU, getting the call up, 45 tackles. L.A. Jesse Harold, that is his name.
Wow.
L.A. Jesse Harold from Florida State, defensive end. Only played in 1 game last year, limited action, but he did get that red shirt year. So Ken Talley's also coming in from Arkansas, and then Josh Shell coming in from Tennessee. So big school names coming in at the defensive line and defensive end position. So UCF might definitely surprise us and get a couple Steeler wins in there. You never know. So Bruno Dahl's coming from Akron, defensive end, and Horace Lockett from Georgia Tech. So they're going to definitely rely on those guys that really get their first taste of high production and high snap counts at UCF. UCF's always, I think, been a really good transfer school with their defense.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, have been really kind of a honey hole and find their spot there at UCF. So we'll see. 5-7. Let's talk about it. Bethune-Cookman, we got them beating them. We got them beating Georgia State and TCU, which definitely going to be, we'll see. And then Baylor, and then Iowa State for that 5th win. Let's take a look at the losses. We do have them losing against Pitt. Could that be the game they get that 6th win with?
Yeah, I could beat Pitt, man, but I like Pitt. I like their quarterback, Heinz Schul. I like they got 2 good backs. Not sure about their pass game. Not sure about the receivers, but Pitt's always tough to beat. They're 8-4 consistently.
Yeah.
You know what you're going to get out of Pitt. with
Narduzzi.
under Narduzzi. That's what I'm saying. He's been there a long time now.
Yeah, Narduzzi is
For nowadays, like.
Yeah, he has, and I think Heintzel's definitely. I think that's the guy they should just totally build around, and hopefully they don't lose him. There was thoughts of him, losing him this year, but maybe they could steal, one of these losses. We have them losing against, like a Pitt, Houston, Oklahoma State. I don't think they'll win those games, or BYU. So yeah, I don't know, man. It'd be hard. That'd be hard. It's gonna be hard. Kansas. That'll be definitely a shootout. So maybe they could get the 7 wins, but won't be surprised with the 5-7. Won't be surprised with the 7-5. UCF's kind of always a wild card in that regards.
Oh yeah.
So let's move on to the Sun Devils, Dalton. Let's move on to a team who is, their coach is always asking for money throughout the year. It seems like we'll probably hear about week 4 when it's not maybe going the greatest for Arizona State. That the donors there, people need to support the program more. That's one thing. It just irks me. I'm sorry, but millionaire coaches and big ass programs like that. If you're, hey, no problem with you asking for money. Just got a problem with you asking money via TV in front of a bunch of press conference. Like,
I don't like it either.
I don't like it either. There's a way to go about it, and that's, in my opinion, not the way. But they brought in quarterback Cutter Boley. We'll talk about that from Kentucky. Give me your thoughts, Dalton, on Arizona State. 6-6 is the prediction, man. I mean, call me crazy. I don't know, but I think it could possibly even go to a 5-7. You just don't know. But tell me I'm crazy, or just tell me I'm right. What do you think?
I think 6-6 is perfect. It looks like to me they got 6 easy games, 6 hard games.
Yeah.
Like that's how their schedule's set up, or 5 easy games, 1 toss up, and 6 hard games. Like I like 6-6 for them, but. It's just this program, it's hard to keep their guys, man. They get poached a lot.
They do.
Last year, we all know their whole offense was throw it to Jordan Tyson and hand it to Ray Brown. And he's off to Texas. And Jordan Tyson's off to the NFL. Levitt's going to LSU.
Right.
So they're restarting on offense, right? They got a couple receivers and running backs coming back. They got the 2 Browns coming back at running back, Kyson and Jason Brown. They only combined for 34 carries. They did combine for 260 yards though, and they averaged about 7 yards per carry between them. So if they could do that all year, great running back room again. See, they always have a good running back room, man. They can replace. They had Scadaboo, and they replaced him with Ray Brown the year after.
They just stashed.
Always had backs.
They just stashed Kanye Udo last year.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Yeah. They've always had a stable guy.
That's how good they were, because they had these guys that were behind Ray League. They had the 3 Browns last year. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
At running back, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I do like their run game. I think they got talent. Their backs always produce, so I don't have a question with them. I do have a question with the receivers though. They got 3 guys returning that played last year, but none of them were like too reliable. Derek Ucebo was the best one. He had 22 catches, 341 yards, 2 touchdowns, 15.5 yards per catch though. So something to work with. I think he could, might be able to step in that wide receiver 1 role. Obviously he won't be as good as Jordan Tyson, but many people aren't. Right. Dominant when he was on the field. Already hurt again though.
I know. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Already hurt.
Yeah.
Sad, dude. He might be like the next Pearsall.
Oh God! Don't.
I hope not. I hope not.
He's getting shot now?
Well, just hurt all the time. Because even if he ain't shot, he's always hurt. But Jalen Moss was supposed to be the big guy they got last year in the portal from Fresno State. Had like 900 yards 2 years ago at Fresno. Just didn't get a lot of targets last year because he was throwing it to Levitt. Levitt was throwing it to Tyson. He was a read 1, 2, and 3 last year.
Yeah, I don't think there's. I blame a lot of their falls last year on their play calling and just their personnel.
Throw it to Tyson only. Okay, that's not gonna work. You gotta have more than one receiver.
They didn't play him or put him in the right spot. It was kind of head scratchers.
Oh yeah, I like 3 of these receivers. Jaron Hamilton last year, limited action, 7 catches, but he had 169 yards, so that's 24 yards per catch. So they got talent on offense. Just they were backup roles last year, but when they did play, they produced pretty well. CJ Fight on defense, one of my favorite D tackles in this class coming out. Think he's going to go day 2 in the draft. 16 solo tackles. Doesn't sound like much. It's actually a lot for a D tackle. And he had a sack and a forced fumble. Now, he only has 1 sack, but if you watch this film, he got home a lot. He's got to finish, which that's the next step in your game always. It's one thing to get pressure, but you got to be able to bring the quarterback down. Right. I'm expecting him to get to 4 or 5 sacks this year, and that's a lot for an interior player. Adrian Wilson, my favorite safeties in this conference, 40 solos last year, 6 PBUs, a pick, and a forced fumble, so really good to have in the back end. He's got 2 other returners on the back end too. Montana Warren, 6', 200. He's more of a nickel, can play safety air corner, but they like him over the slot. 25 tackles, 8 PBUs though. So a lot of PBUs coming back. 2 for Bachmeier. So they have 20 PBUs coming back on the corners. So they could be solid on the front 4 on defense and the back 4. But the linebackers got a lot of questions, and we just don't know where the production is going to come from on offense yet.
No, we don't, and obviously they're bleeding off with Cutter Boley coming in from Kentucky last year. 11 games. He went 198 for 301, had 2,100 yards, 2,160, 15 touchdowns, 12 picks. He can move around a little bit. Had 85 yards, on the ground, 2 touchdowns. But yeah, we just don't know what we're going to get when he moves to a new scenery.
He didn't have any good receivers last year either.
No, yeah.
Kentucky was
they were shitty.
Bad at the receiver position.
Yeah, last year Stoops was really bad. Even the last few years of Stoops was bad, and definitely, yeah, he was. But I was surprised. Supposedly he was asking a crazy amount from Stein when Stein came in, and they said, kick rocks, and he went and found it somewhere else, which was obviously Arizona State. So we'll see. Talk about their schedule here before we get into the transfers. We do have them winning their first game, Morgan State, but we talked about it. 6 up, 6 down, it looks like. Texas A&M being the loss. Texas Tech, Kansas State, who I think is a sleeping giant in this conference. Them losing against BYU, Oklahoma State, and Arizona. So we do have them winning against Kansas, Baylor, Hawaii, which, who knows with that game? You never know.
Could be upset.
Could be upset, right? Could be upset. Then Colorado and UCF. So I think those aren't too crazy. I think Cutter Boley will be able to get it done. If you are not familiar with Cutter Boley, he's pretty balanced quarterback. Very balanced, can run a little bit.
Sneaky runner, yeah.
Sneaky runner. Kind of ball sail on him a little bit at times, right? But I think has a good happy medium of risk taker and playing it safe.
I mean, he can make almost every throw.
He can. He's got potential.
If he has time, he can make any throw in the book.
With any quarterback that has potential and that can make a lot of throws, you still have to be used right. And if he's not used right, it's not going to work out. So we're going to see. They bring in a lot of talent, Dalton. Was there anything you want to add with Cutter?
Oh, man, no. I just saw him playing in person last year. I know Florida wasn't good.
Yeah.
And this was already at the point where everybody knew Napier was going to get fired, so it wasn't a huge deal. But, man, he did carve us up.
Yeah.
He carved us up. And he looked good against the bad teams he played, and he looked bad against the good teams. But that wasn't all his fault. Kentucky had, like I said, no receivers last year worth anything, really.
He's definitely got some better receivers here.
Above both of their transfers.
Yeah, Mario Miller coming from Colorado.
Or 2 of them, yeah.
45 catches last year, 808 yards.
The next one's Reed Harris is my guy.
And Reed Harris from Boston College, 39 catches, 673 yards. So 17.3 average, and then 18 average for Mario Miller. So some big play guys. Cutter Boley's definitely going to be going to those guys. Going to be going to Raiden Vines Bright as well from Washington, 238 yards last year in 12 games. He had 9.5 on average, so he had a touchdown as well. Mario Miller, man, those 2 guys, and Reed Harris looks like that's going to be the 1-2. Running backs coming in, Marquise Gillis from Delaware State, David Abbott from Villanova. So they got some low-key guys. Looks like they saved some money. I'm looking at this from a business, right? They're always asking for money, right? Let's talk about the money. So it looks like they saved some money there at running back, and they put some money into some offensive line and receivers, and obviously quarterback. Offensive line coming in. Luke Bekalenko from Oklahoma, 13 games last year, mostly special teams. They did bring in Christian Ingham from Portland State at tight end. They brought in Anthony Miller from tight end. But offensive lineman, Santana Alo Tupala from Georgia Tech. Not a lot of stats there. But let's go to look at defense, Dalton. See what their defense is going to do, man. They got some DBs coming in. Chance Rucker from Michigan State, 7 tackles. Nigel Pringle, 8 games for Arkansas, 2 tackles. Then at safety, so these are some big school names here coming in. Antoine Belgrave Shorter from Penn State, 14 tackles last year. And then Josiah McGrew, big production, smaller school, usually it's on brand there. 68 tackles from FIU last year. He was freshman All-American, though. And he was All-Conference USA honors. He led the team in picks. How many did he have? He had enough. He had enough. He had enough. You know why? He had 4 picks here, 77 yards on those picks. 4 picks your first year as a freshman.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive, right? And then he had 5 pass breakups to go along with it. So very impressive for Josiah McGrew from Florida International. We'll see how it happens, man. We'll see what happens. They got Jalen Thompson coming in from Michigan State, 30 tackles. Demarion Winston from Baylor, 25 tackles. So, yeah, maybe they do get that 7th win, but let's go back to the schedule now. Take it all in here, see if they can maybe change a couple of these losses to wins. Kansas State, we'll look at that one. Maybe they could beat Kansas State, but we haven't talked about them yet for a reason. We do have them having a better season. I'll ask this question here for you, Doc.
Arizona game's a toss-up always.
Okay, let's throw them in there. So let's throw
Rivalry game.
Kansas State and Arizona out of those games. Which one do you think they're more liable to win, or both?
Between them two, probably Kansas State because it's at home.
Okay.
Arizona's on the road, last game of the year, rivalry.
Yeah.
Tough to win on the road in a rivalry always.
Yeah, Dillingham will always. I would say Dillingham.
And Fafita's a beast.
Still haven't fired up, maybe, but okay.
Fafita's really good.
I know. I think Fafita's gonna have a big year. Can't wait to talk about him. I know last year wasn't.
No, he played good 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Last year was good.
Well, he didn't have Ted McMillan last year.
Oh no, and I bet he played better. Yeah.
You think so?
The 2 years ago he sucked.
Yeah. Because he only
freshman year was great.
Because he only had Ted.
Yeah, freshman year was great. Second year sucked. Last year was really good.
Yeah, he was more balanced, but I think he.
They went 8-4 last year. I think
they did. Well, they lost a lot of their shine last year because they had some emergencies of some other quarterbacks, right? Like the Bear Bachmeiers of the world.
No, yeah.
You know,
Dan Pierre transferred in.
And if you want to take a look over the ACC with JKS, I mean those.
Dog.
And then you could throw it with the ACC with Heinzel. I think that was kind of overshadowed.
Malik Washington.
Yeah, and Malik Washington overshadowed some of that Fafita's play last year. So I think Fafita's in for a big year. Can't wait to talk about them, but not yet. Let's go ahead and move on, Dalton. Let's move on to the next team. We're rocking and rolling. So Arizona State 6-6. They could win that game against Kansas State, like you said, because it's at home. Let's talk about Fafita. Let's do it. I said in a second, but let's go ahead and talk about it now because we have multiple 8-4 teams. So instead of just talking about them in a couple of minutes, we'll talk about them now. All right, let's talk about Fafita. You were really big on him. He's a lefty, shorter guy, can move around in the pocket a little bit. Kind of reminds me of a little Baker Mayfield-esque a little bit. Just give me your thoughts overall on Arizona. We got them 8-4 prediction, and Noah Fafita, their leader.
Just solid across the board.
Yeah.
Not too flashy of a team this year. Nothing I see is too exciting. But I love watching Fafita play, though. He's not. You said it. He's undersized, 5'10", 190. You know what else is about that size, though?
Who?
That's a backup in the NFL and probably, will be a backup forever and won't play. It's Stetson Bennett. He's 5'11", 192, and 1 extra inch.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
So I think Fafita's NFL backup. And that's why I think his team's really good. He's going to carry. I mean, last year he carried 29 touchdowns and 6 picks, 3,200 yards. So great efficiency. And, the thing is, we already talked about it. He didn't have any NFL receivers last year. No NFL running backs. No NFL tight ends.
Yeah.
No NFL linemen. And what he did was behind that with that team, was really good. So as senior year, I expect him to take another step. I don't know how much of a step he can take because he does have limitations. He doesn't have the best deep ball in the world. But what he does well, he does well. I mean, outside the pocket, throwing on the run. He's one of the best in the country. He still have a light returning on offense, though. I will say that. Gio Richardson's his best returning receiver. He only had 21 catches last year, 299 yards, 2 TDs. So they're going to need some receivers from last year's. Guys were buried on the depth chart to step up. But I don't think that's a problem. They seem to do that pretty well. They also running backs, too, so that's really it on offense. But their defense, man, they bring a lot of good pieces back. Chase Kennedy at DN, 4 sacks last year, 2 forced fumbles, 23 solos, so he'll take that all day. Tay Brown, really good linebacker, 38 tackles, sack and a half, forced fumble, pick, a PBU. So he does it all, fills up the stat sheet. Green dot guy. Love to have him out there. He's a great leader, man. Javion Cole, corner, 4 PBUs and 4 INTs last year. So talk about a guy that plays the ball in the air. It's him. Only 16 solos, but he also had a forced fumble. 5'10", 181. He's more of an inside corner, but he's really good at it. Gavin Hunter's more of the nickel guy. They're replacing 3 NFL DBs. Dalton Johnson and Traden Stukes. Everybody loved Traden Stukes last year. But these 2 guys they got coming back, they're going to they're going to run with it. Because Gavin Hunter had 12 tackles and 3 PBUs last year and a pick, and he was, safety 3. So him stepping into the starting lineup, it's going to be a really big key to them. And I think their defense is just very underrated. Arizona's defense is a problem. Yeah, they're really good, especially for this conference. You don't talk much about defense in the Big-12 outside of Texas Tech and BYU and Utah. And, it's just them three when it comes to defense usually. I think you thought Arizona had that ring this year.
I know. I think so too. I think the more we talk about them, the more they grow on you, and they're going to have some solid transfers as well. I mean, let's talk about them. They have some guys getting some call-ups. They have defensive end Victory Johnson from Cal Poly, getting 26 total tackles last year. We'll see if he can up that here. Once he gets some more talent around him, maybe more of a system guy. Corner coming from Howard, Zuri Watson, 34 tackles. And then Colorado State wide receiver Jordan Ross, only 84 yards last year. So let's take some look at some guys with a little bit more production. Dalen Austin from Oregon had 10 tackles, but they bring in a guy, Antoine Roberts, running back from Marshall, 512 yards last year, 4 touchdowns. And then Lee Mollett from UConn, 65 total tackles, did get a pick last year. And then some offensive line help from BYU. Jake Griffin appeared in 10 games. They have a linebacker help, Matai Togoa from USC, had 4 tackles last year, 1 forced fumble. Then they have Dwight Bootle, the second, from Charlotte, 38 total tackles, 21 solo tackles. Nathan Hale from San Jose State at right tackle started 10 games at right tackle. Rodney Gallagher, West Virginia wide receiver, 243 yards last year. Then they have a guy with a lot of production here coming from Northern Colorado, Cam Chapa, 88 total tackles, 63 solo, 4 picks, 2 forced fumbles, 4 pass breakups. So love that production right there coming from the FCS ranks. Then we have, look at some more production here. Everett Rosaw from Memphis, 64 total tackles, 29 solo, 4 pass breakups, and 2.5 sacks. Some help on offense still with DJ Jordan from USC, 5 catches last year. So he's looking to get some more. Tyrese Boss from Wyoming, 39 total tackles. Cooper Bloomstrom from Georgia, defensive end, 44 total tackles. So some guys who looking for their first shot, because a bunch of guys who don't have a production, man. So, but we don't know because the returners they got. I mean, Gio Richardson, like you brought him up, right? A little under 300 yards last year, 299. One more, just almost got there. But he did get 2 trips to the end zone.
Defense, man. Defense and Fafita is going to carry him.
Defense and Fafita. I think Fafita's going to up the play of all the receivers mostly around him, right? I mean, that's what good quarterbacks do.
Exactly.
We can look at their losses. I don't know if they have a upset there. Maybe they could get that in their season against Utah. I mean, get that win. Now that could maybe be a good one. Arizona State, we have them losing. That could, like we just talked about, could be a toss-up. We have them winning that game. But Kansas State, I don't think they're winning that game.
I don't know,
I'm sorry.
man.
I don't think Kansas State, we're going to talk about them in just a second. Kansas State has a lot of talent. I like Noah Fafita, but Avery Johnson's looking for a revenge year.
He better.
And it really wasn't a revenge year because people have the Dublin game in their head of that he had a bad game, right? We know. The very first game of the year in Dublin.
And the second game.
Yes,
true. They lost to Army.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Okay, you got it. But
after that, he was fine.
After that, he played well.
He didn't play like himself, though. That's what people hated on. He wasn't running enough. He needs to be more runner. That's what he is.
And the knock is on him now. If the brightest lights are on him, he's not going to play good.
They got Klein, though. I think Klein's going to get the best out of him. You're right. Because, that's the kind of quarterback he was. He was a runner.
Exactly.
Only.
Exactly. Klein, former quarterback there, is alma mater.
Heisman, was he a Heisman finalist?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Heisman finalist at Kansas State. Me and Dalton love to talk. We love talking about him when he was playing.
He's like Jordan Lynch, yeah.
Yeah, like
Anybody remembers Jordan Lynch? They played exactly the same.
Mobile guy, so I can't wait to talk about Kansas State, but maybe we'll see.
Yeah, they could win that one. We'll see. But, yeah, Arizona, 8-4, solid year. Solid year, man.
I think so. And another
Brett Brennan, good for him, because I thought after that first year he was going to get ran out of town quick. He really fixed it last year, though. He did.
Yeah, last year was a big make-it-break-it year with Tet in the NFL. Like, all right, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we don't know where the ball's going? And can you be creative and not just have that one shot in the bucket with a very elite talent like McMillan? Because I was wrong about him. I'll say, I was wrong about him. But let's talk about the next team who I think is back. We talked about Boise State and our G6. They're officially back. But let's talk about TCU. I think they're back as well. They kind of came up in the ranks with Oregon, with Boise State. We got them going 8-4. They have Jaden Craig coming from Harvard, who's going to lead the way. Talk about him in just a second. But Dalton, give me your thoughts here. Got them losing against UCF, BYU, Arizona, And Texas Tech, big wins we have them getting. Utah. Pretty much the only
Utah and
big win.
Kansas State. And Kansas State.
Kansas State, yeah. But
back to back.
I do think TCU's better.
That
this
Utah
year.
is that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is two tough ones back to back, but I think they'll be rocking and rolling because they'll be coming off that loss against Arizona. So that's my prediction there. When they lose against that game against Arizona November 16th, they're going to play Kansas State. They're going to play Utah with a vengeance, but we do have them losing their season finale against Texas Tech, that given that fourth loss. But Dalton, talk about the returners. They have some talented guys coming back, and they did add the talented quarterback, but talk about who they got coming back.
Yeah, it sucks for not seeing Cam Cook's name coming back, man. They let him go.
I know.
He was here first before Jack State, and they let him go to Jack State. Sad. But Jimmy Payne's a really good consolation prize in the backfield. I mean, he had 623 yards last year and 5 tutties. Oh, and he averaged 5.7 yards per carry. So, solid RB1 to have. He lost the backups, but I think that just means he's going to get more carries, and that's a good thing. He's probably the best player on offense. If he ain't, Jordan Dwyer is. I mean, he was solid last year. He was a number 3, too, and he put up 54 catches for 730 yards and 7 touchdowns. 13.5 yards per catch. So 7 touchdowns and, really good receiver. He's behind one of my favorites last year, Eric McAllister, and Joseph Manjack.
Yeah, Eric McAllister. Yep.
So I like both of them, but he's their number 1 this year, and he'll probably get to 1,000 yards too. I think Dwyer will get to 1,000 this year. Ed Small will be helping him out on the outside. Smaller sample size, but he had 16 catches last year, 186 yards. He did get the end zone twice, so 9 returning touchdowns for the 2 receivers. That's a solid start. The defense, that they kind of lost a lot. Then they got 2 guys with any proven production. Paul Anyawale, 21 tackles, 2 sacks last year, and 1 forced fumble. Need to get more pass rush out of this team. That was our biggest problem last year. They got guys sit in the pocket all day. So hopefully they fix that. But Colin Jackson back there in the back end, if they didn't, 18 tackles last year, 1 PBU, the nickel guy kind of. So not too much returning on defense, but this program is just so damn consistent, man. I mean,
kind of.
Right? Their bad years 7-5.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be good.
I mean,
I think they.
I guess
some of us. I think some people think of TCU as that little team that's made that come up and rise up into the Big 12, and I think, which you can still think that's what they used to be. But they're now the Big 12. I expect an 8-4. I expect 8 wins, 7 wins from them every single year. Every year.
That's fair.
Because they're in Texas. They have the branding. They have
definitely had the branding.
Recruiting. They've always had some pretty solid coaching. Solid. I won't say great.
Jerseys are crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. They have things that work for them that a lot of schools don't have that are still good.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not maybe have a little bit too high expectations, but I really do think that they're going to have a good year. 8-4 is something we should be accustomed to at TCU. And we'll see what happens. Like we said, Jaden Craig's coming in from Harvard. 2,869 yards, 25 touchdowns last year. So that's always good. You can always work with that. Let's look at some production guys coming in. They have Jacob Fields at corner coming from Louisiana Tech on defense. 50 solo tackles. Had 91 total tackles.
Wow,
though.
for a corner?
Yeah, so he's so
50 solo for a corner is crazy.
I swear, 5 pass breakups and 3 picks.
Yeah, he's a good player.
So very good player coming in. We can talk about Michael Short as well. Michael Short's coming in at linebacker, 22 total tackles, only 7 solo though. Did get a sack from Virginia Tech. Jeremy Scott's coming from South Alabama, 417 yards, 4 touchdowns. And then we have Karan Hayward from WKU, 12 solo, 19 total tackles. He's a linebacker. 1 pick and 2.5 sacks, though, so we can work with that. Kalen Carroll from Central Michigan at corner. We got 2 corners to round it out here. 49 total tackles for Carroll. 30 solo, 1 pass breakup, 1 forced fumble, but 2 picks. So shout out. And then they have Tion Parks from Colorado, 20 solo, 2 pass breakups. So their defense, man. So their defense is going to be pretty solid. It's just really all comes down to what? All comes down to the quarterback position. They have some other guys, obviously, the transfer coming in. A couple offensive linemen, but not too many. Jaden Craig, what's your thoughts on Jaden Craig? Obviously, we have not seen him play FBS football. Do you think they're going to go for like a steady Eddie approach and just kind of keep the reins on him, or are they going to let him just sling it?
Yeah, he'll sling it. That's what this offense does.
Yeah.
And he was good last year, man. I mean, they said he was going to be a mid-round pick if he left.
Yeah.
So he clearly has NFL talent. This offense is just QB friendly if you're smart.
Yes.
But Hoover's going to be smart this year. I mean, it's just about your defense. And their defense wasn't great last year, really. They gave up too many points. They were in shootouts. They had to throw a lot. That's why Hoover threw a lot of picks.
Oh yeah, they relied.
They win shootouts. That's how they play.
They wanted, and I'm not saying I thought Hoover's gonna be great. Can't wait to talk about him. But I think they relied on him in an unhealthy way.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like you're supposed to rely on your quarterback. Every team is in a certain way, like, but you're not supposed to back him in a corner. They backed him in a corner a lot. So he's on greener and redder pastures there at Indiana, but. Still, going to be a good year for Jaden Craig, like we said. Let's move on, Dalton, to the team we were alluding to earlier of having a big year, which is Kansas State. Kansas State, 9-3. They bring back Avery Johnson. I think this is going to be a really big year for them. I think it's really big because it's unexpected. But we have them losing against Houston, Oklahoma State, and TCU. They'll be back to back. But I really do think it's a 3-loss season. I don't see them losing against Cincinnati. I don't see them losing against Arizona State. Could they lose against Arizona? Yes, they could. We talked about it. So, 8-4 could very well happen.
Easy schedule.
But I think, it's got a high floor, right?
They missed Utah and Texas Tech, so, it's nice.
Yeah, very high floor for Kansas State. Talk about the returners, Dalton. Maybe get into some stats of some of these guys and what you think of Avery Johnson at quarterback. We already talked about him, but it's time to, let him have the floor here.
Talented. Needs to play his game. I mean, last year he's solid. Like we said, he went 2,385 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 picks, 477 on the ground, and 8 tutties. So he had 26 touchdowns combined. It's just, man, the start of the year was bad. He never really found his groove all year. Even when he was playing good, he wasn't playing as good as he was in years past. So hopefully he gets back to his old self, because if he does, sky's the limit for this team. They could end up winning the conference with this schedule.
I know.
Joe Jackson, though, really good back. They always have good backs, man. Another team with every back they get is a dog.
Offensive line and backs. Always good for it.
Joe Jackson. Not Michael Jackson's dad either. 911 yards last year, 8 tutties, 5.4 yards per carry. Only had 169 carries because before Dylan Edwards got hurt, they were in a timeshare there. Yeah. But once he was the guy, prototypical size for running back, 6', 212. I think Joe Jackson will be in the NFL. Deron Tibbs, really good receiver, huge on the outside, 6'2", 212. Plays more like 250 because he just bulldozes everybody in front of him. Not the fleetest of foot, but if you throw it up to him one-on-one situation, he's probably going to catch it. 47 catches last year for 595 yards, 3 TDs, so 12.7 yards per catch. Solid receiver to have coming back. Another position Kansas State's seemingly always good at is tight end. Yeah. I feel like they always have a couple guys that have good production. Garrett Oakley was a leading returner. 38 catches last year, 389 yards, but 6 TDs for the tight end. That's a lot at the college level for a tight end. They don't really use them as much as they do in the NFL. You see big touchdown numbers. Not in college necessarily. Their defense is where they got to replace a lot of production. They only got 2 guys really coming back. Is it Zazon? You think that's pronounced Zazon with a Z? Zazon Rich, 46 tackles last year, but 11 PBUs. Zayshawn Rich, dog though, 11 PBUs. Really good number. And 6'1", 205 for a corner. Love a physical corner, talk about it all the time. If you're over 200 and 6 foot, that's perfect.
That's rare.
That's perfect. He's playing in the league probably. And Jordan Allen, DN, 11 tackles last year, but 2.5 sacks. I expect him to get that number up. He has a lot of tools in the pass rushing chest. So, I like this team too, man. They're just solid. And the run game is going to be great, I think, again, like always.
Like always, they're always very good in between the tackles, and they have a mixture of being very good and having a pretty good draw on the schedule. So let's talk about some of the talent. They brought in a couple good receivers here. They brought in Brandon White from Hawaii, 399 yards last year, 2 touchdowns. And they brought in Josh Manning, 318 yards, 2 touchdowns as well from Missouri. Notable other guys they're bringing in Coy Beasley, safety from Miami of Ohio. We watched him live last year, 21 solo, 40 total, but did get a pick. They got Jacoby Oliphant from Oklahoma State at corner, 13 solo tackles, 26 total, 2 sacks, and they do have some offensive line help. We'll get into that. They have Kelton Jones from Missouri. They also have tackle Charlie Adams from Cal Poly. They also have tackle Tyler Johnson from Auburn, so projected to start there. Kamari Burns, defensive end from Cincinnati, only 4 tackles, but did have some stats there. Here's some guys with some more production though. Mekhi Mason from Louisiana Tech, 68 total tackles, 29 solo. And then we have a guy I love coming from a program who I think is going to be a problem in FCS this year, Gardner Webb. Darian Hicks, 21 total tackles, 1.5 sacks. Rodney Fields, running back from Oklahoma State, 614 yards last year. I think I've noticed all the Oklahoma State transfers that left Oklahoma State that went to other schools. They all are in way better situations, and I feel like they all got the benefit of the doubt, no matter what their stats were.
Rodney Fields is good though. I like him.
Just because of the situation last year with Gundy.
He was our best player last year.
Yeah, he was one of the best players for sure, no doubt about it. So that rounds out, I think, all the guys with some production that are worth noting, in my opinion. We'll see what we get, man. I think it's going to be a really big year for them. Like I said, high floor. They have Jay Harris, Oregon running back. I think I brought him up. Wendell Gregory from Oklahoma State, defensive end, another Oklahoma State guy. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Avery Johnson just has to keep it steady, Eddie. Can't turn the ball over, but that's the winning formula for all these guys. And then let's get into the team who had the most turnover, Dalton. Oklahoma State. Drew Mestemaker. Everybody loves them. Everybody loves this team, and rightfully so. Are they a little bit too hyped to you? We got them going 10-2. I think people are penciling them in for a playoff run. What are your thoughts on the Cowboys this year, and are they overhyped, or is this right?
I wouldn't be surprised if any of these next teams we talk about win the conference.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think they're being overhyped at all. Drew Mestemaker, if you watch this film, he's legit. It wasn't just him beating up on bad teams.
True.
He made NFL throws.
Yeah, he did.
NFL pocket movements, man. His movement in the pocket is crazy. That's the biggest thing I took away. So, North Texas, we're going to see how good North Texas can do in the Big-12, basically. You know?
Yeah.
How good was North Texas last year?
How good could they have held up in the Big 12 last year?
Because you can see on the screen, man, they don't have many returners.
No.
5 guys on the returning on the 2 deep, but 3 of them are projected to be backup. So really, he only got 2 guys, key guys, returning. One of them was Jaleel Johnson. He only had 7 tackles last year at DN, and LaDainian Fields had 14 tackles, 2 picks though, and a PBU. So he's definitely the best returner. But that's all there is to talk about with this returning. Gundy left him bad.
Gundy left
great career, bad ending.
Yeah, it was long overdue with that firing. I think a couple years, in my opinion. So they had to bring in just an overhaul. They brought in 55 transfers. Obviously, we are not going to talk
That's
about
crazy.
all of those transfers. Let's talk about the schedule. Talk about a few of those transfers, though. But with the 2 losses we have them losing against Kansas State, which I think could be the upset, and then losing against Oregon. I think they beat Houston. I think they beat Texas Tech. I think they beat Texas Tech. You may want to argue and say, hey, they might flip-flop that game. They might beat Kansas State but lose against Texas Tech. Do you think that's more liable or no?
That was the only loss I had Texas Tech getting. Personally, was Oklahoma State. I think that's the matchup. That's the only team that has good enough offense to really beat Texas Tech. Their defense is dominant.
I just think Hammond's not as good as Mestemaker, and they're just going to outgun him.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only team with the offense good enough, though, I think, in this conference to beat Texas Tech. Their defense is so damn good still. I mean, they just hit the portal like crazy, and their returners are insane. They're up there with, like, top 5 probably, returning production on defense.
Yeah.
And last year, they were already top 10 defense in the country. We saw what they did against Oregon. If they had any quarterback play, they could have won that game.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
I mean, Borton didn't do nothing. Oregon's offense didn't do anything.
Shout out to Caleb Douglas, our guy.
Yeah, but Oklahoma State, man, I can't wait to watch them. Let's just say that.
Me too, man. We don't know what we're getting.
I can't wait to watch them play.
We know what we're getting, but we don't. And I'm in the boat of 2 things can be true. Am I high on Mestemaker? Yes. Do I think he has first-round potential? Yes, but not this year.
No.
I think he's just – people are saying he's leaving this year and
I
he's still
know.
in first round.
I know.
I'm like, pump your jets. And I will say 2 things can be true, and meaning said yes. The second thing, we just got to see it, right? We don't know. We don't know what he's going to do in a P4 stage on a consistent level every week. We have to see it, and it remains to be seen. He's going to obviously brought over a shitload of guys from North Texas.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about them. I mean, I don't want to bore people, but there's some guys they brought in. Let's talk about it. So, production-wise, Morgan McFall, VMI, tight end. Start off with a Randy Bob here, random. 15 catches, 174 yards. Rodney Harris from Ohio, wide receiver coming in, 30 receptions, 419 yards. Obviously, who rounds it out, we got to talk about him, Drew Mestemaker. Drew Mestemaker last year, 4,379 yards, 34 touchdowns, and only 9 picks. So, yeah, like we said, I mean, the numbers back it up. The film backs it up. Caleb Hawkins is coming over. 1,434 yards at running back last year, 25 touchdowns. I mean, the team that made them good, they're all coming back.
25 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Sounds fake.
Yeah, they're all coming. And
Wyatt Young, yeah.
Wyatt Young, 70 receptions, 1,264 yards, 10 touchdowns. Then, I mean, there's guys who have production. Miles Coleman, North Texas, 47 receptions, 550 yards. So guys who just been around the block, and they were at North Texas, we know. But what are they going to do? They're bringing over Chris Barnes from Wake Forest at wide receiver as well, 547 yards. But a guy who I want to highlight.
Oh, yeah, your guy.
I was big on him last year. He's not the RB1 this year, but I think he's going to be very good. Trey Page from Tarleton State. He had 839 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns. He only played 8 games.
Yeah.
But he had 7 touchdowns, 839 yards. So very big talent there. I think he was the reason they beat Army.
Yeah, they did beat Army.
Yeah, they beat Army. He's the reason. Trey Page went off. So shout out to him. So they brought in some other guys as well with not a lot of production. Justin Bowick, wide receiver from Illinois. But they bring in a guy who I liked, Israel Polk from Akron.
Yeah.
Wide receiver. Big body, I think. Just a guy who's very fun to watch. They brought in Iowa Dai from James Madison, the running back. Won't go over to the offensive line help because all the 50 of guys. Let's look at some defense here. Anai White from Penn State, only 3 tackles. Dominique Macon from Washington. Sadiq Clements from North Texas. James Williams, defensive end from Florida State. Jerry Lawson from Louisville, a defensive line. He's pretty good. And then linebackers, Dallas Winter Johnson from Tulane. Only played in 10 games, 5 tackles. Jack Puckett from Central Oklahoma, 63 tackles, 13 tackles for loss. So we can take that. We'll take that. 4 sacks, though, so that'll work. Last guy we'll talk about, Isaiah Chisholm. 84 tackles last year, linebacker from UCLA. He had 7 picks. So, shout out.
Nice.
Shout out to Chisholm there and UCLA. I think they're in for a next. I think not this year, but next year they'll be really good.
Yeah, not this year.
Yeah, not this year, but next year. But I think they're still gonna be solid this year. Nico Amiaba is very fun to watch.
Wayne Knight, the running back.
Yeah.
He's really damn good.
Okay.
UCLA's running back's really good, man.
And I think UCLA is one of those teams where nobody talks about it, but if you really think about it, when they're good, college football's better because it makes the USC game better. So yeah. Well, can't wait to talk about them. But Dalton, Oklahoma State, man, bringing over a slew of guys. Those are the notable guys. Like I said, 55 transfers. And you pretty much put it perfect with these last few teams. Any of them can win the conference. We would not be surprised. The next team on that list is BYU. Freshman sensation last year, led Bear Bachmeier. Kalani Sitake. They had talks about him going to Penn State. He stays. He had his alma mater, even though now he's calling back. He's not getting some of the promises they promised him with staying with some of the NIL going to basketball. So that's another conversation.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they paid Dalbanza like $7 million.
Yeah, and he's kind of saying like, "Yo, you promised me some of these resources with football. It's the reason I stayed here." So we'll see if that develops into something if he's not there for too much longer. But let's talk about now. 10-2 projection. Bear Bachmeier kind of took over, the conference in my opinion, and just one of the more fun stories. Number 47 jersey number. L.J. Martin coming back. But get into the details of these guys and their top returners.
Yeah, I really like these returners, man. I mean, best list so far of any team we've done.
Yeah.
And all the conference previews. This team has the best returning production of any team we talked about.
Love it.
We starts at the top, like you said, Bear Bachmeier, true freshman last year, but he threw for over 3,000. 3,033 to be exact.
Yeah, it's impressive.
15 tutties, 7 picks. So the only thing I expect him to get better at is throwing more touchdowns. He's going to throw more touchdowns this year. He had 527 on the ground, though, and 11 rushing touchdowns. So if you add the rushing touchdowns in there, it's 26 touchdowns. You'll take that for a true freshman. And he never lost him the game, He always kept him in it.
Yeah.
L.J. Martin, though, one of the best returning backs in the country.
Yes.
1,305 yards last year. 12 tutties, 5.5 yards per carry. Huge physical back, 6'2", 220. Just he's gonna get you the tough yardage, and he hits explosives every now and then. But if you give him the ball, he ain't gonna you don't take many TFLs, man. He's just tough. Receivers is the question mark spot for this team. JoJo Phillips is their best returning receiver. He only had 14 catches last year. So they're replacing Chase Roberts.
Yep.
He's a beast. Parker Kingston got kicked out.
Yeah.
For doing some bad things this summer. So they lost their two best receivers from last year. That's the only question mark they really have on this team, though. Because when you get to their defense, they are loaded. Isaiah Glasgow, one of the best linebackers in the country, probably. 36 total last year, 3 sacks, 2 picks for a linebacker, a forced fumble. So he plays the run and pass equally as well. And for being 6'5", 240, most of them guys are kind of stiff in pass coverage. He's not, so it's really impressive. They lost another good linebacker, too. We saw at the Senior Bowl. I forgot his name. Loved him, though. But
Bobby Boucher?
I wish. That would have been a good place for him to play. But they got Tayel Asira coming back at linebacker, 23 total tackles. I really love their secondary, though. Evan Johnson, 38 total solo tackles last year. 5 picks and 7 PBUs. Really a dog, like a press coverage guy. Hard to beat him man-to-man. Better man than zone. But this team runs a lot of man because they got Therian Alexander on the other side. He had 5 PBUs last year, 27 total tackles. So 12 PBUs from the outside guys. A lot of good production returning there. Safety, Faltu Satulala, 47 solo tackles last year. 2 forced fumbles, 3 picks, 4 PBUs. A lot of production returning on that back end. A lot of good secondaries this year, though, in the country, man. Like Notre Dame's up there, Texas Tech, BYU's up there, too. Their DN, they got 2 good DNs returning. Nusi Tamopio, 11 tackles and a sack, and then Tassilia Kana, 10 tackles. So a lot of returning production. Front 7 on the defense, and then the quarterback and running back, which is most important. We know BYU always has a good old line, seemingly. Really good team this year, man. Well coached. Good team.
Good team. Like you said, Klein Zataki, one of the best to do it, and one of the best coaches in the nation. Cam Bear, Bachmeier, repeat what he did last year as a sophomore. They don't have a big load of, a long laundry list of transfers, which I think these last couple teams we talk about, I think that translates into their success. Oklahoma State kind of being an anomaly, right? They had to flip the whole team. But these top 2 teams, I mean, they're a big reason why I think they're going to be good is because they have good returners and they know what they're getting. But like you said, some receivers exiting the program there, unexpected, so they're going to have new leading receivers. Let's see who they got incoming transfers. Not too many, but they do have some talented guys coming in. They have tight end Roger Salapaga from Oregon. Only 3 catches last year, but did get a touchdown. They have Javen Williams from Mississippi State at corner. 18 total tackles last year, 10 solo, and did get a pick. Jake Clifton, linebacker from Kansas State, had 24 total tackles, 17 solo. And then Cade Ulave from Cal, a linebacker, another linebacker coming in, 42 solo tackles and 97 total tackles. So out there getting in the mix, putting his nose in the action. He had 3 sacks to go along with 4 pass breakups. And then they have some offensive line help here. They have 3 guys here coming in. Pakai Fanu from Washington, 4 starts last year. Junior Sia from Utah State, started 10 games last year at tackle. And then we have Zach Yamuchi from Stanford, started 3 games at guard, and he played both right guard and left guard last year. Then the last 2 transfers they have coming in, Walker Lyons from USC, tight end, 20 catches, 223 yards, but did get 2 touchdowns last year. And then another guy who they're probably going to go to, because like you said, losing those wide receivers, Kyle Casper.
Yeah, Kyler Casper.
From Oregon, 2 receptions, 51 yards last year, so definitely going to get some more production from him this year. And we can talk about the 2 losses here. So the 2 losses is what kind of makes the conference here, kind of spoiler alert. But we have them losing against Notre Dame October 17th there, and then losing against Utah. I think that's going to be a very good game.
Oh, yeah.
That's
going to be Holy War.
Yeah, potential game of the week that week, and can't wait to preview that week. Don't want to look ahead too far, but it's November 7th. But let's go ahead and look at the rest of the roster. Could they slip up here against an Arizona? Could they slip up against a TCU? Could they slip up against like Arizona State, right? I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, they could. Any of those three, yeah.
Any of those three, they could slip up and get it, right? We just don't know. But Kalani Sitake is a badass, and he's going to find a way. When there's a will, there's a way, my mom always said. And it's very true. So we saw that last year. They gutted out a lot of wins. Bear Bachmeier, freshman year, getting over 3,000 yards. I mean, doesn't get too much impressive than that, unless you want to look at Drew Mestemaker's stats. But Bear Bachmeier gets, he gets the tip of the cap because he did it he played Big-12 football last year.
Something else fun about this team, his brother plays receiver.
Okay.
Tiger Bachmeier.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Great name,
Great
too.
Fun fact.
But he might get a lot of production this year, too, because, they're still looking for guys. We don't know who's going to be their really go-to target. So watch out for Tiger, too. I mean, that brother relationship, that probably goes a long way on the football field, especially if you're a quarterback and receiver. You got to know where he's at. You got to know how he runs his routes, etc. Because how many balls do you think he's thrown to him in his life? I mean, crazy amount, I'm sure. I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback play with his brother and receiver.
I agree.
I was trying to think. Can't think of any.
No.
Like ever, dude. I have to Google that after this show. But
I swear, I'm trying to think.
I really can't think of any brother.
There's a team we did not talk about, but we're going to go ahead and get it because we didn't get to our first. So we do have them going 10-2 as well, but we have them finishing third, right? What do you think this next team we're going to talk about? Because we don't know the standings, how it's going to go. But similar record. I think BYU will finish above Texas Tech. Let's go ahead and talk about Texas Tech.
Oh, yeah, we got Tech having 2 conference losses, BYU with 1. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so Texas Tech, I mean, Sorsby, right? We heard it for so long. And Will Hammond's going to be the guy. I mean, call me crazy. I know players make plays, but karma's a real thing too. I just don't think this team's going to win a conference off of the year this offseason that they had and what the shit they tried to pull, in my opinion. So we'll talk about him for a little bit. What do you think about Texas Tech? I mean, do you like them to maybe still win the conference? I know you really like their defense. But talk about Tech.
Old school. It's so weird how they changed overnight last year. Like, they just said, we're just going to go old school, ground and pound. I mean, they got, well, in my opinion, top 3 running back room in the country. With Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams. I mean, you got the Thunder and Lightning. Dickey being the Thunder, Williams the Lightning. He's a good receiving back, too. So I just don't think Will Hammond has to do that much with this team, man. And I think he's better than Beaver Morton. And that's not a huge, a crazy statement, right?
No, it's not a huge.
I know we haven't seen Hammond play that much, so I don't have a sample size to really back me up. But when he did play last year, he looked pretty good. I mean, he had 680 yards, 7 touchdowns and 3 picks. But he has an extra dimension, that in his running, we don't know how he's going to come back off the ACL. Yeah. Everybody comes back differently, but if he comes back fully healthy, he does add extra dimension to this offense they didn't have last year. He can run a little bit. I mean, Morton couldn't run at all.
No.
He's kind of a statue in the pocket. So, yeah. So, I like Will Hammond. I mean, I just like this defense, man. I'll get to it. I'll start with the defense on this team because it's one of my favorites in the country. Ben Roberts coming back at linebacker. That's like nobody talked about all these guys I'm about to talk about because of Jacob Rodriguez and Lee Hunter last year. These guys are the reasons they cleaned up those tackles, man. Ben Roberts, really good linebacker. He's going to take over Rodriguez's spot. 44 tackles himself last year. He forced 2 fumbles, also had 4 picks, and he broke up 5 passes. So talk about a guy that is good against the passes, he is against the run. Hard to find that in the linebacker. He does both tremendously well. A.J. Holmes, I think, was their best D tackle last year. Better than Lee Hunter. If you watch the games, he had 19 solo tackles, 4.5 sacks, and a forced fumble. He was the pocket mover. Lee Hunter was the guy that, run clogger up the middle. A.J. Holmes is the pocket mover, guys that can get to the pass rusher. Get to the quarterback. And he's 300 pounds D-tackle. It ain't like he's 280, 285. So he can still play the run effectively. He might be All-American this year. Bryce Pollock at corner, really damn good as well. 30 solo tackles last year. 5 interceptions, 7 PBUs. He returns his other guy, sidekick at the corner, Amir Boyd. He had 5 PBUs himself last year and 2 picks. So 7 picks returning from their 2 starting corners. Brendan Jordan, starting safety, coming back. He had 38 tackles last year, a pick and a PBU. John Curry's coming back. They got him listed as a DB, a nickel. I think he's more of a linebacker because you don't really want him guarding slots one-on-one. But his numbers are great. 36 tackles, 5 sacks, 4 PBUs. And that's just their defense. I mean, their return production's crazy on defense, man. That's what's going to carry them. But their offense, their cupboard ain't bare. Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams, I talked about them. Let me just go in their numbers, though. Dickey had 1,124 yards last year on the ground. He averaged 5.4, and he had 14 TDs, so very productive. One of the best backs coming back. But there's a lot of damn good backs coming back, and this is the year of the running back. I don't think we've, in my opinion, I know a lot of people love his quarterbacks too this year, but this is the running back class, man. You got so many returners coming back that 1,000 yards. Jacoby Williams, if he was on any other team, he'd be RB1. I mean, he had 868 yards himself, 6 touchdowns, and he averaged 5.6 yards per carry. 35 catches too out of the backfield. He got 2 touchdowns through the air, and Terrence Carter coming back as well on offense, one of the best tight ends in the country. 55 catches, 624 yards for a tight end, 5 TDs. Not really a weakness unless his quarterback's a weakness.
Yeah, that's what I think the problem is going to be. I think they're going to be able to stop anybody because we haven't even talked about some of the talent they brought in from defense.
Oh, the crazy good portal class too.
Yeah, really good portal class.
The receivers in portal too.
They have some receivers as well, which we'll talk about. Now, I just think that's going to be the problem is they'll be able to stop anybody in the country, but they won't be able to score on anybody in the country. I just think that'll be the problem. And that's what's going to be their kryptonite is not being able to put points on the board. They brought in talented safety coming in from Pittsburgh State. Want to give some highlights to him. Jordan Rogers, 85 total tackles, 6 tackles for losses, and 5 picks as well. But we want to bring in a light to a guy, Adam Trick from Miami of Ohio, defensive end. We got to see live play and really tore it up. 25 solo tackles, 59 total, 3 forced fumbles. He had a pick. 4 pass
4 PBUs for a DN. Nice.
Yeah, very good. Shout out. And then we got Trey White from San Diego State, defensive end, 30 solos, 47 totals, but he got 7 sacks. So highlight him there. We want to highlight Julian LaVenture, another defensive lineman coming from Akron, 45 total tackles, 18 solo, and 4 sacks.
Their D-line's so good.
This D-line is going to be insane.
They got Igbaragba, too.
Yeah, and then they also have Austin Romaine from Kansas State.
Yeah.
41 solo tackles, 1 pick last year, 66 total tackles. And then they have a guy call up from Allen University, Amari Fleming, 48 total tackles. But look at this.
Wow.
18 tackles for losses, 14.5 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles. So a lot of production coming from lower level there. And we haven't even talked about, like you said, those receivers. So Dante Lee from Liberty, 5 touchdowns last year, 589 yards. Jalen Jones from Alabama State, 1,167 yards, 9 touchdowns on 51 catches. And let's talk about some of these. Malcolm Simmons from Auburn, 457 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I think that's the last wide receiver.
Oh, Jet Carpenter's a good tight end, too.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they got to have 2 good tight ends.
From Nevada, yes. 35 catches, 374 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But guess what, man?
Kenny Johnson, too. That's what I was looking for. Kenny Johnson from Pitt. He was really good last year, man. 695 yards, 5 TDs for Pitt. This team's freaking loaded.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns.
God, if Sorsby didn't mess up,
they would be
I might pick them to win the chip.
They would be very close, and I would be maybe – they would be my hot take of the year. They would be my hot take. I wouldn't say they would be my favorite.
I might take them.
They would be my hot take, but I think it's going to come down to quarterback, and we're just all going. We have to wait and see. But like I said in the beginning, I think karma's a real thing, and I just don't think they'll have a good season, but they won't win the conference because of just I don't know. The talk about them the past 3 months has not been all the guys we just mentioned, right? It's been about one guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's not on the team. Yeah. So we'll move on to our last 10-2 team. Connor Wigman led Houston. Willie Fritz.
Good year last year.
Willie Fritz runs the show there. I think some people might say, hey, they could be a sleeper for the 11-1, but I don't think so. But Dalton, we'll go ahead and talk about them before we talk about the team we think is going to win the conference. Let's talk about the Houston Cougars first, though. 10-2. What do you got on them?
Well, I think they have a better chance to go 9-3 than 11-1.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Me too.
Start off with that. I do like this team, but Weigman to me has limitations.
Me too. Thank you.
All right. He's a good quarterback though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he ain't good. But I take him at Florida last year. Yes. So yeah, that means he's good enough. If I'll take him on my team, that means he's good enough. But he does have limitations. I mean, he was a great runner last year. We'll start with that. I mean, he had 700 rushing yards and 11 TDs. It's just, he only threw for 2,705 yards. At Houston, that's like throwing for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
At least, in their history. They just throw it around. So, I want to see him get back to that, but their run game was great last year. They're replacing Dean Connors. They got Mekhi Hughes coming in,
From Oregon.
who was supposed to be great at Oregon last year. Ended up getting buried in the depth chart for some reason, but amazing career at Tulane.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he does. But I do like Weigman, man. I just think he got limitations when it comes to facing, like, elite defenses, reading defenses. Like, if his first read ain't there, it's when he struggles. He just takes off, kind of. So that's what I need to see him get better at. But he does have a good group of receivers to, make him take that next step. Amari Thomas last year almost had 1,000 yards, man. Just missed out. 966 to be exact. 67 catches, but he did have 12 TDs. 12 receiving touchdowns in a Power 4 conference. It's really good.
Love that. You can get that coming in. Obviously, we have guys that that went over the century mark from the FCS or from the G6. But if you can get a guy who got double-digit touchdowns from P4, take that all day.
Kobe Young is the other guy. I think he's going to break out this year. He was, kind of buried on the depth chart last year, but when he got a chance, he's explosive. 12 catches for 191 yards, 16 per catch. He's a guy that takes the top off the defense. Just really, really elite speed, I'd say. And their defense, man, another good defense in this conference. This conference is kind of switching overnight.
It is, ain't it?
Like their defense, it's getting to be a defensive conference. I like it because I love defense.
I know. I think I like the
But it's
I
weird.
like the Big 12 just as much as I like the ACC.
Oh, I like it more, in my opinion, this year. We'll get that. We'll talk about that.
No, I'm trying to think of it real quick. Maybe
there's better teams.
better overall teams.
Yeah, the best team in Miami is better than everybody in this conference.
Right.
But once you get to is
no,
Louisville the second best? We'll get to down
Louisville,
later this week.
What would Louisville place in the Big 12? In this Big 12, I don't know.
Sixth.
I know.
In my opinion, I like Louisville's roster, but they don't have a quarterback like these guys
What
have.
about SMU? What would SMU do?
Now they got a better chance.
What would they do in this conference? I don't think they'd win.
They got a better chance though, just because they got a Kevin Jennings.
Yeah, I'm not that.
You gotta have
I'm not as high on Kevin Jennings.
Oh, I'm
as
not that high
people
on
are.
either. But in this conference,
Yeah.
I think you gotta have a returning quarterback
Devin
to be at the
Dampier.
top.
Yeah.
Unless you're Texas Tech defense.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I say
and
that.
Oklahoma State, right?
Oh, because their offense.
Right.
Yeah. But like I said, their defense is great, man. Kentrell Webb, one of the best, most productive safeties in the country last year, at least. 51 solos for a safety. It's always a great sign, You want your linebackers to have more tackles, but that means he's cleaning everything up, and that means he's coming downhill and filling the holes. And he had 4 PBUs and a pick, so he ain't like he just plays the run. Very aggressive guy. He can do it all. Will James, really good corner. 31 solos, 2 forced fumbles and 3 picks, 5 PBUs. A lot of good production from Will James. Brandon Mack, and they got 3 good linebackers coming back, actually. All 3 of the linebackers started last year, so I do love this defense, man. McCutcheon's my favorite one, 6'3", 245, but he plays a run and pass equally. This is why I like in a linebacker. 19 solos, but he had 2 picks, 2 PBUs. Sion Fotu, 26 tackles, half a sack. And Khalil Afu at D-tackle. 19 solos for D-tackle, 2 sacks and a forced fumble. And being 6'3", 300, that's impressive stat line.
Hell yeah.
Defense is going to be great for this team, man. I think second best defense, second or third, maybe we'll have BYU. But second or third best defense in this conference, and that's going to win them a lot of games. Because we know what Weigman can do. He ain't going to lose you games. He's going to keep you in it. He's going to get you first downs.
I think that's 3 things are true, right? In my opinion, with Weigman. Before we get into the some of the guys that coming in, I think, yes, he's going to keep you in it. What was the second one you said?
Well, I said he has limitations.
Yeah, no, but he said he's not going to lose the game for you.
He's not going to lose the game.
He's not going to lose the game for you. He's going to keep you in it. But what's the third? The third thing, which I think is what we're leaving out, is he's not going to win it for you.
Yeah, probably not.
He's not going to go and win it. He's not going to go and at the end of the day, he just. Can he put the team on his back?
He has that next step.
Can he put the team on his back? That's that Josh Allen type of thing, right? That's a lot of what makes good quarterbacks great. They can put the team on their back and just say, you know what, just give it to me. It doesn't matter what we call. I'm just going to be able to get it done. That's what Mendoza did last year, right? And you saw the success we had. We all did. But we'll see how it goes. They have some talented guys coming in. They have some offensive line help. They have Drew Terrell from Miami of Ohio, who was All-America's second team from Sporting News last year. But we did mention Mekhi Hughes, running back from Oregon last year. Only 17 carries last year. But some offensive line help. Anthony Boswell from Toledo, first-team All-MAC. He helped Toledo offense. They ranked number 1 in the MAC last year. I mean, they scored 30 points a game, and their offense was 415 yards per game. and they led the conference with passing yards, 238 yards a game. So good offensive line coming over. Trent Walker's coming over, receiver from Oregon State.
Yeah, good. He's good.
823 yards last year, 2 touchdowns. Patrick Overmeyer from UTSA at tight end. He had 5 touchdowns last year. Only 27 catches, though, 344 yards. Looks like he's a little bit of a hybrid guy.
Not terrible for a tight end in college football.
No, that's what I'm saying, especially from UTSA. But UTSA has good quarterback play, so, I mean, that just goes to proof right there.
They're running back.
He can find 5 touchdowns for Patrick Overmeyer. You know, he's got plenty to go around.
True.
Jaden Yates is coming over, linebacker from Ole Miss. 55 total tackles last year, 16 solo. Linebacker Miller Malone from WKU, 17 solo, 37 total tackles. Javion White from Tulane, safety, 50 total tackles. He had 6 pass breakups and 3 picks. One forced fumble, yep. And then Jalen Mayo from Stephen F. Austin getting the call up, 47 total tackles, 9 pass breakups, and 4 picks. So I like this team, man. I like this team. We're going to see, like you said, this team is, as well as you can kind of look at Texas Tech, man. This team is going to go as far as the quarterback's going to take them. I just don't think they have close but no cigar with this team.
That's fair, man. I agree.
Close but no cigar. We have them losing against Oklahoma State and Utah, which are back-to-back games. But yeah, close but no cigar, unfortunately. And we can go into the team we have winning the whole damn conference here.
Who is it? If y'all smart, y'all know.
The Utah Utes, 11-1. I think this is a big X factor. Is all the talent they have coming back. Could BYU do it and win the game and flip that record? We don't know. Yes, that could happen, but I don't think so. I think Utah gets it done, in my opinion, and time will only tell. But Dalton, what's your thoughts on Utah? Is this like the ACC last year, where the team that wins the conference isn't the best team in the conference, or what do you think?
I'm just imagining if Kyle Whittingham didn't leave this year.
Yeah.
How good they'd be.
Yep.
Because, man, they lost. I know John Henry Daly came over with Whittingham. He had over 10 sacks last year at Utah.
Yep.
They lost Tal Johnson and Smith Snowden in the back end, 2 of the best DBs in the country, in my opinion, last year. And we still got them going 11-1. So it just makes you think, if he didn't leave, man, we're talking about, undefeated maybe.
Yeah, they elevate their
Morgan Scalley, yeah.
Morgan Scalley, so he got to coach 1 game last year as official head coach, so he's undefeated, right? 1-0, shout out. But we don't know what we're getting. So the same system's in play, right? But
yeah, same quarterback too. That helps.
Same system, right? New figurehead. So it's like different team, but not. It's like different coaching staff, but not different coaching staff. But 11-1, man. The only loss we have, what is it here?
To TCU.
Yep.
On the road.
That's a great. I love that.
Just because we don't seem going undefeated. We had to lose in 1 game, and that was the one that just seems like that's the one they're gonna drop. 10-0 already.
Yeah.
Just looking ahead to let's get the season. Let's get in the playoffs, and they just drop one.
They have a slate there before that TCU game. They have BYU, Arizona, and TCU. As 3.
Yeah, that's tough.
3 of their last 4 games. Are they going to be tough? Yeah, they're going to be tough, and that's why I think they dropped that TCU, because they make it through that BYU and Arizona game scathed. They still win, but they'll be scathed.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think they lose to TCU. But hey, maybe they flip flop one of those games. But either way, they're going to have a hell of a season. And what do you think, Dalton?
I think Devin Empire is awesome. Start with him because I love his quarterback. He's so fun to watch. People thought he was just a runner when he was at New Mexico. Proved last year he could throw the rock too, man. He had 2,490 passing yards, but really efficient. 24 TDs, only 5 picks. Can't ask for much better than that, especially when you're adding 835 yards on the ground and 10 TDs. So, he had 34 touchdowns and 5 turnovers last year. That's, in my opinion, that's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation.
Hey.
On paper.
I agree, but I just think with them it was just the crunch time and some of the help around them. I feel like they would fall as the game got on, and 2 things couldn't work right at the same time for them when it came down to crunch time for them to kind of make a real run at it. But this year could be that year, man.
He's got help in the backfield for sure. I love Wayshawn Parker. Great name, dude, by the way. Love Way Sean. It's a good name. 981 yards last year, though, and only 149 carries. That means he averaged 6.6 yards per tote. Got in the end zone 6 times, so really good back. They always have good backs here, too. Not necessarily NFL backs, but guys that are going to get 1,000 yards in college, right? Larry Simmons is a guy they're going to have step up on offense a lot, though. They lost a lot of their receivers. He only had 15 catches last year, but he did have 280 yards and 6 TDs on 15 catches.
Love that.
So this guy has a nose for the end zone. He averaged 18.7 per catch. He's the explosive option in this offense, and they haven't had that in years past.
Yeah, some really good players.
Not at receiver.
And some players are just really good that just don't have that nose for the end zone.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
they're really good.
I talk about it all the time. Julio Jones didn't.
Right, yeah. They'll get you all the way down there, man, but just the red zone threat's a different mindset.
If you're watching this and you're a Julio fan, look up his stats for me. And look at his touchdown numbers. He's weak. And then he's weak in the red zone.
God.
He was great until he got to the red zone. But anyways, Hunter Andrews coming back too. Tight end, replacing NFL tight end. He only had 10 catches last year for 65 yards. But a tight end in this offense is very important. They use him more than almost any offense in college football. Their defense, though, always returning some guys. Jonathan Hall at linebacker, 43 tackles last year, 2.5 sacks, 4 PBUs and a pick. So he can play both. Jackson Benny, really good safety last year, 43 solos, 4 picks and 5 PBUs. Replacing a lot on the back end, but they also have guys returning because they also got Nate Ritchie at safety. Kind of like safety 3 last year, played a little bit, not too much, but when he did, he was solid, 16 solos and 1 PBU. Lance Holtzclaw, they're going to rely on him a lot because they lost Henry Daly. He's going to have to step up and be that, the really good pass rusher. He only had a sack and a half last year, but he was kind of that third pass rusher. Now he's going to be playing a lot more, see what he can do. Trey Reynolds on the other returner they got. 14 tackles last year, but 2 picks and a sack and a half. So solid, really good linebacker at, I guess, the pass. It's a really good team, man. That's just Whittingham was here because this could be talking championship.
It could.
Outside shot, but still.
Definitely an outside shot, but what do they say? A fighter, a puncher's chance?
Yeah, puncher's chance.
Puncher's chance. They have a puncher's chance because they have some talented guys coming in from the transfer portal. Not a long list.
Oh, they got
of
some
guys,
good ones, though, yeah.
But a couple receivers that are definitely worth noting. Brandon Pegan from Utah State had 926 yards last year, 5 touchdowns. And then they have Kyrie Scholes from San Jose State, 768 yards last year. Only 2 touchdowns, so hey, maybe one of those guys who isn't the greatest in the red zone, but will definitely help out here. And then we can take a look at a couple other guys here. Elijah Reed from Akron at corner, 30 solo tackles, 1 sack, 2 picks, 47 total tackles. Then they have Ethan Day at defensive end from North Texas, 23 solo tackles, 4.5 sacks for him. And then I think the last guy we will want to note here, we said it was a tight end heavy offense. Want to give a shout out to a FCS call up here. Noah Benet from Weber State.
Oh, I want to say he's brothers with Jackson. Probably.
Could
Not
be.
a common last name.
Yeah, could be. And then they have some offensive line help. They have a Ohio State transfer as well. That want to highlight that. So, I mean, some guys coming in, man, that are from, big schools. Isaiah Kima is the Ohio State transfer at offensive line. Looks like he's going to play the inside. We don't know. And then last shout out here. Last shout out for the transfers here. We'll get a notable guy here. We'll go with Jaire Moe. 28 total tackles. Defensive line from San Jose State. So, Dalton, Utah 11-1. Like you said, if Whittingham was not there, I mean, this could definitely be a team, like you said, puncher's chance, a very team you did not want to play in the playoffs.
No doubt.
Did not want to play the playoffs, but I think looking at every single team, we are in for absolute fireworks. Those top 3 teams who we have, I think, are very talented. The BYUs of the world, the Utahs of the world. And we'll see if any shuffling there comes at those 4 and 3 spots. But before we get out of here, oh my God. Before we get out of here, 400 and some transfers. What's your biggest takeaway for the Big 12, and just what are your thoughts after we get to really take it all in?
I didn't realize how much good defenders played in this conference before today. I can't lie.
Me too.
Because it's just, my kid in me is coming out. And this conference sucks on defense, man. They score 50 a game. That's not true anymore. You have a nice diversity between the teams. You got really good defenses and really good offenses. So it's just a pretty balanced conference, but I do think there's a huge gap from the top to bottom, too.
Yeah.
The Colorados and Kansases and Iowa States.
For sure.
a huge gap between the top. I
And there's a
think.
gap with the ACC, so it's like
I mean, there's a gap in every conference, but I think it's it's smaller than the SEC.
there's a gap in just those teams that are in each gap, like the two levels or tiers, they kind of shuffle or they're starting to shuffle. So it's a little better as you can kind of look at it through that lens. But yeah, great defenses, man, great defense, and I think the team who has the most success, because all these, if you look at it, all these teams except for you can take Houston out of there and Oklahoma State, but a lot of them mobile quarterbacks.
No, Houston got what? Raven ran for 700.
Oh, yeah, but I think
I mean, I know what you mean by mobile. Like,
I don't think he's as dynamic as Dampier, Bachmeier.
no, he's
Avery
like
Johnson.
he's more of a Tebow.
Yeah,
but
I think Avery Johnson,
without the power.
Bachmeier and Dampier, three guys where if they run enough, they run good enough, and still obviously they have to pass. The running has to be the cherry on the top. It can't be the best thing you're at.
Yeah.
But if they run good enough, they could run their team into the conference championship and possibly come away with it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And the next update here, the next conference preview will be the ACC. So I hope everyone's been having a great weekend, great summer, man. First Power 4 conference is officially done. We are almost done. 2 shows a week here. Obviously, we are dropping these here at kind of random 2 times a week. But we will be here next week if you're watching this around, or this week, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then, yeah, we'll see. And then next week, the week of, we are going to be dropping 2 more episodes. We'll be doing SEC and Big 10.
The big dogs.
It's officially here. Football season's here. 2 shows a week until the end of the season. And I can't wait to get into it. Dalton, got any final words?
Malachi Fields scored a touchdown today, baby. Everybody said he's going to suck because he's too slow. Mossed on a guy's first play, so. Just saying. Shout out to the Giants this year. We might be good. We might be bad. Both of my teams are like that,
first
man.
Year head coach.
That's it. Both of my teams.
Yeah, first year.
Yeah, first year head coach.
Oh, I think Florida's gonna be bad. Y'all aren't gonna be good.
I don't know, man. Dominant running backs, dominant receivers.
Yeah.
You gotta have a quarterback, but Terrell could be good.
You think they're starting Terrell?
I hope so.
I think they're starting Philo.
I don't want to.
Well, they're starting.
He's
Philo.
one-dimensional.
Well, they're starting Philo. And
Terrell looks better in practice. I watched the film. You know me.
Terrell looks better throwing the deep ball.
He looks better in the pocket movement too.
Because he can't get hit.
Well, true, but neither can Philo.
I
That's
think
what I'm saying, but he looks better than him.
that is a quarterback battle where it's going to be solved in game reps, unfortunately.
I mean,
I
Philo
say-
was good when he played at
I
Georgia
say that
Tech.
unfortunately because that's not how it's supposed to go. We're supposed to know who you got.
Yeah, you're
before
right.
one. But
Yeah, you're right. We got to play FAU and then Campbell, though. We got two weeks to figure it out.
for sure. But those are just to figure out weeks. Then you have to see. You have
Did we
to.
pick the right one?
Yeah, you have to lay in the bed you made. So then you have to. That takes a whole other 2 weeks to figure that out. So then you're looking at really don't know who you got till 5th week in. And that's what makes college football. We will see all these new faces, see how they translate, and see if the studs from last year can run it back this year. And stay tuned to Home Squad Sports, everyone. We will get you tuned up here for the season. We have every single team doing a preview. No, we haven't forgot about the Independents. Notre Dame's still coming up. We're going to include them in the ACC preview. So that is next up, everybody. And we will see you then. Y'all have a good one.
See y'all later.
Peace.